And talk indeed we will do. I'm gonna start the show in a few minutes. We got a lot to cover today. And President Trump is doing so many just absolutely amazing things that every American's got to be proud of President Trump. I mean, how could you not be? You know, what he's doing with the drug cartels, as an example, is just amazing. There's some big stories that I'm going to start with as soon as I get the mainstream going. Now, just to let you guys know who are new, if you're watching with the green screen behind me, to see the audio and video and images that I show on the stream, you're going to have to go to my main stream, which I am putting a link right now in the description. And when I get this set up, I'm going to start the mainstream. But the link to my mainstream, I just put it in the description of the video. So you click that link, it'll take you right there. And you can see and hear all the video that I play. All right. Sound check? All right. Okay, that's perfect. And the link is there. All right, we're going to start. Okay. Okay, here we go. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. We have a lot to cover today. I want to start with this story. This story was sent to me by a listener. There's a listener who, he's a good guy. He is a hardcore, true MAGA Republican through and through. He goes on our cruises, and he lives in California. And he texted me a little while ago this story that somehow I missed because it was reported on Fox a few days ago. But this story is completely insane to me. This is the headline: Whistleblower alleges Blue City jails hired over 100 illegal guards over several years. This is Washington State. Washington State probe claims guards were hired without proper work authorization. So when you're talking about the migrants, they're illegals. They are all criminals. It is a 100% crime rate among the migrants because they're all here illegally. So how can a story with jails hiring criminals to be jail guards not be a major story in the news? It's really scary what was happening to our country before Trump's second term. I'm going to read this from Fox News, and if you're watching on the live stream with the green behind me, to see and hear all the audio and see the visuals and everything that I'm going over, you have to go to my mainstream. The link is in the description of that video. All right, so this is from Fox. State and local officials are investigating a Seattle area corrections department after a whistleblower alleged the county was hiring unqualified immigrants as guards, according to a complaint filed with Washington State authorities. Now, this is something that they would do on purpose, right? Because when you're hiring jail guards, they have to go through a security check. So they know they're illegals, and they hired them anyway. I don't care what they say. They knew they were criminals. Individuals have been hired while holding only temporary work visas, and in some cases with expired work authorization altogether. The unnamed whistleblower wrote to the state's Criminal Justice Training Commission. This is in Washington. He should have wrote that letter to Pam Bondi regarding hirings in King County. These hirings are in direct violation of the statutory requirements set forth by state law. We're talking about jail guards. The department said in a statement that it is actively investigating this complaint and denied that any of the guards were illegal immigrants, even though some appear to have failed to meet the legal eligibility requirements. No, they're illegal if their papers are, first off, you should have to be a U.S. citizen to be a jail guard, okay? At the time of the filing on August 27th, the whistleblower alleged the violations had been happening for several years and remained ongoing. The complaint was first reported by Seattle Red host Jason Rance last week. Washington law, this is Washington State again, Washington law requires all peace officers in the state have their immigration status verified and must be American citizens. So it is a requirement, right? We've heard about these police officers. Where was it? In Illinois that was illegal? We've had 2 of them so far. Now we got the jail guards. They have to be verified American citizens, lawful permanent residents, are beneficiaries of the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program known as DACA, the Dreamers. Now, you should have to be a U.S. citizen. The law does not allow for the hiring of people with temporary visas or illegal immigrants who do not fall under the DACA. So anyway, it goes on. They had about 100 of them. And, you know, when I was a kid, my father was a prison guard at a maximum security prison. This is very dangerous, and I'll tell you why. My dad was a prison guard at a maximum security prison that has since closed. It was a really old prison. It was kind of like it was in Belglade, Florida. And this was in the 70s, early 80s. And it was kind of like the prison in Shawshank Redemption or Brubaker. If you remember Brubaker with Robert Redford. It was a work farm prison, hardcore maximum security. And they would have escapes and prisoners would attack guards. It was really crazy. But I remember my father was telling me when he was a guard there, that when I was a kid, that prisoners are always trying to get the guards to do things for them. And it could be as simple as getting you to mail a letter. And he says, you can't do any of that stuff. They're always trying to, because who knows what's in that letter? And once you mail the letter, they got you because you did something with them. So you've broken the law. So they're always trying to do things. Why would a jail have criminals, illegal aliens? Why would they have criminals working as guards? Well, it's because the inmates are ruling the asylum. I mean, what the heck has been going on in our great country? What is, and you look at everything that President Trump is doing. This story here with the illegals working as guards in this jail, if Trump had not been reelected to his second term, we wouldn't know about that. Look at this police officer they got the other day, an illegal. There's been 2 illegals. One was in Illinois. The other one may have been from Illinois too. One was a white guy, one was black. They both were illegals and were police officers, regular police officers, patrolmen. It is against federal law for them to possess a firearm, but here they are with a gun and a badge. And I've been using this term, we for quite a while. That of course we've been invaded. Invasion USA has been going on for decades. President Trump stopped it, but the one thing I've said a lot is that we were being colonized. And there's no doubt in my mind we were actually being colonized. So this you got to wonder how many other jails and prisons have illegals working in them. And I'd like to know more about where the illegals originated from. Were they from Latin America? So do we have the drug cartels or the MS-13 gangs or the Trinidad gangs? Are they been running the prisons? Are these guards working for the cartels? Who knows? But because they're illegals and they're working as guards, they're already compromised by the prisoners. So even if they weren't working for them in the beginning, they would be later. President Trump has this, and I don't say this lightly. It is, the thumbnail that I put on the video of the show today is Trump saved America. And he absolutely did. Our country was on the verge of being wiped off the face of the earth and become America in name only. Not just because of the invasion of this country. Everything that the left have been doing is cooperating with China, the cartels, people around the world to bring down this country. The United States is the most powerful country in the world, militarily and economically. And they've wanted, and they view us as being in the way of doing all the things that they want to do. And I gotta tell you that if Trump had not been reelected, this country would be done. The country would be done. But you know what? He did get reelected. So we are back, and the country is going to stay back, and because the American people, I don't even think most MAGA people knew how bad it was. And one thing about liberals, they have boundary issues, right? You give them an inch, they want a mile, and they have gone to such wild extremes. Okay, they've gone to such wild extremes with everything they were doing. I'll tell you exactly what I mean by this, where they have boundary issues, right? Gay rights. When Obama was president, the Democrats legalized gay marriage, which, by the way, Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton both opposed, okay? And that got through because of some things with Biden and everything else. But anyway, so, gay rights were something that the left had been arguing about and whining about for years and years and years. So they finally get everything. So do the gay rights organizations say, okay, now that we have gay marriage, we have accomplished everything we set out to do and close up shop? No. For a couple of reasons. One, a lot of people make money off of these so-called civil rights organizations, activist groups. But also, all of these groups like gay rights and whatever civil rights group it is really just a Democrat operation, right? It's a front group for the DNC. So they stay in existence, but they've gotten all the gay rights. So what do? Well, they get into this trans stuff, which is just insanely stupid. And you got men in the girls' sports, boys in girls' sports. It went so far as in the Olympics, they had men beating up women in the boxing matches, right? So they always push and push and push and push. And they never stop. They always push the boundaries. That's why I say they have a boundaries issue. And that has been their undoing. And right now, as we are speaking here, and the Democrat Party is a party that's in a complete state of anarchy. They do not have a clear leader. They got a couple of people, they've got Hakeem Jeffries and Schumer, who are the leaders of the parties in the two different legislative houses, but they're weak and incompetent and just plain stupid. And at the national level, they have no one. And and these stories keep coming out day after day. As an example, okay, President Trump taking on the drug cartels. He's not just blowing their boats and submarines out of the water in both the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans now. If you were watching yesterday, they're gonna start doing ground operations in Latin America, targeting the cartels, the cocaine farms, targeting maybe even the cartel leaders themselves with military strikes. So they're going to take them out. These people are terrorists. Remember, before 9/11, Al-Qaeda, they were in the heroin business, right? With all the heroin they were growing over there. That was the country. They had two exports before 9/11. Afghanistan had two exports. One was heroin. Do you know what the other one was? Terrorism. They had terrorism and heroin. That was it. That was their total gross domestic product right there. And they were terrorists and are even still today. But these drug cartels, President Trump, I've heard him mention at least 4 times the cocaine farms. We're going to see major strikes on these, and they know where they are and who they are. And you would imagine that the cartel bosses are freaking out right now. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. They've been getting away with all of this for so long, maybe their arrogance, they're not afraid. Right? Maybe they're not afraid. Maybe they think Trump's bluffing. They have been getting away with killing, Pam Bondi gave the number yesterday, or was it Christy Nome? One of them gave the number over the last few years of how many Americans have died because of the drugs the cartels had brought into America. And it was 9/11 times like 100, maybe even more. I mean, it's just happening all the time, right? It was like someone said 300,000. Yeah. 9/11 times 100. And this war on drugs has been nothing more than a talking point for the most part, putting Band-Aids on problems instead of going to the root source. And the root source is what President Trump has done. 1, you shut down the border where they can't bring them in. 2, you blow their boats out of the water. 3, the military strikes on their facilities. And that's it. And, it'll be rough for them down there in South America for a while, but in the end, they'll be South America, Latin America, from Mexico on down, will be a safe, stable place. South America, Latin America, Central America, whatever you want to call it. Although Mexico is considered part of North America. But they're all third world countries, every single one of them. They have the same resources that we have in the United States and Canada. So why are they third world? Well, because all of Latin America is third world because it's a corrupt economy that's run by the cartels. Every aspect of Latin America is controlled by these criminal operations. They don't have real leaders in most of the countries. Argentina's an exception to that. These are all these candidates they have, and politicians they have, are puppets for the drug cartels, and everyone knows it. And President Trump's bringing them down to stabilize things. This immigration issue that's been a problem for this country for a century, one of the main reasons is because it's a third world country down there. Or every country is a third world country in Latin America, and he's changing that. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. We'll take some calls. This is, of course, the pre-show, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Sean. I'm calling from Ohio.
Hey, Sean, what's up?
Hey, I was kind of curious. What are your thoughts on, our national debt is getting to the point of insanity. Why can't we take this tariff revenue and knock out chunks of this debt every year and get rid of it?
President Trump is. He's been, he's been paying off the debt, and he said they paid huge chunks of it off, and he said he'd like to give everybody a rebate from the tariffs, but he wants to pay the debt off first. So they are paying down.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, no, he's never actually committed to paying off the debt because not just him. No president has ever worried about our debt.
No, he has. Yes, he has. You're wrong. I've heard him talk about it several times. He hasn't talked about it in a while, but I've heard him talk about it several times. Yeah, no, he has.
Oh, well, yeah, I know. He was talking about the rebate program, which I think is just a bad idea. It's just like stimulus check.
No, it's not a bad idea. That's our money. If you're a taxpayer, we should get a rebate back. Why is it a bad idea?
Well, I understand, but our debt is insane, so much so that it's going to be more than the military spending.
President Trump is paying down the debt.
That would be awesome. I'd be all for that.
All right, well, I appreciate that. All right, take care. Some of these people, they just, they don't want to hear what's going on. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. Scott from Canada.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, man, you all right this morning?
I'm all right. Where in Canada are you?
I told you I'm Scott from Texas.
Oh, I thought you said Canada.
I may have said it, bro. I misspoke.
Why did you say? That's what I thought you said. Why did you say you're in Canada? Why? Who would say that?
Because I was looking at the news and it was talking about Trump in Canada.
Okay.
Okay. I was going to say this to you.
Very bizarre.
So it's not bizarre, bro.
You said you're in Canada. You said you're in Canada.
You never misspoke. You never misspoke before.
I misspeak probably every day, but not where I'm located.
Yeah.
not the state I'm in or country. You were wrong not just on the state because they don't have states there. You put yourself in another country.
Okay.
Are you African Canadian?
No, Brian. Bro, I'm not dealing with you. Let me say this to you. Sometime when I call you in the morning, you say I hang up on you. I don't hang up on you. You hang up on me. Hello?
Well, you have disconnected your calls. If I say that someone's hung up, they've disconnected themselves. I don't make stuff up.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't.
A couple of times you have hung up on me. And you say, "Oh, look, he can't handle the truth. He hangs up."
No, I never do that. That is not true. I don't do that. Nope.
Yeah, you do.
Well, I'll let the audience decide on that one. I don't do that. I do hang up on callers, but I don't. When somebody I hang up on, excuse me. In fact, there was a guy who used to do that on the radio down here. I called him out on the radio for that. I don't on the air. I don't do that.
Do.
No.
Brian, you may not do. You may not do it, but you do.
Let me tell you something. We can debate the issues, but never question my professional integrity like that. I do not do that.
I'm questioning you because Brian. When I'm gonna call,
you don't even know where country you're in.
Brian, don't do that. You don't do that. I misspoke, and you want to call, you want to say something crazy. I misspoke, and I'm sorry I misspoke because y'all so perfect. Y'all MAGA, y'all so perfect.
Yes, now
y'all
you're
just
talking.
Squeaky clean.
Now you're talking.
Y'all so squeaky clean. Y'all a bunch of hypocrites, and y'all sitting up there. If Biden was doing half the things Trump would do, y'all be
really?
Damn near.
What would Biden
I'm not going to even. I'm not going.
Give me an example of something.
Let me finish my call. What I call about you.
No. This
morning,
isn't.
please.
Listen. Hold on a second here. Hold on a second. Today is open phones on Fridays. Open MAGA Mike Friday. But there's a problem with you as a caller, and I want to explain this to you. Okay. And I love callers that disagree and give me grief, even though you're lying and questioning my integrity and my professionalism, which I don't tolerate. But when I go to the calls, I'm hosting a professional broadcast here. When I go to the calls, it doesn't mean that I'm throwing the show over to you guys and you get to run with the show.
I know it's your show. I know it's your show.
No, well, it's not just that it's my show. That sounds like some kind of narcissistic child with his toys. This is a professional broadcast, and I have to keep the show running in a certain way. So, you calling in and say, well, I got these things I want to say. Get your own show and do monologues. On this program, we have discussions, mostly about what I'm talking about.
We do discuss. And I understand that. But the thing about it is you lie and say, well, look, he hung up, and you be hanging up.
I never do that. That is total BS.
You do it.
No, I don't.
You do it.
All right,
you
told
do,
you not to lie.
You do.
All right, I'm hanging up now. I never do that. Never do I hang up on a caller and claim they hung up on me. I never do that, ever. And there was a guy that used to be on the radio in Miami at a radio station that I worked at. His name was Mark Scheinbaum. I'm not going to go through this. I've told the story on the air many times. He used to do that. He could not handle callers. He sucked on the air and he couldn't handle callers, give him a hard time. He would hang up on them and pretend they hung up on him and did other things. I can put up with a lot of crap, but I don't tolerate people questioning my professionalism and my integrity when it comes to what it is I do, because I take broadcasting very, very seriously. And some kook who tells us every day he's in Texas, then all of a sudden he slips and tells us he's in Canada. Oh, no, I'm really in Texas. Come on. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Mike.
I watched the majority of when Kash Patel yesterday or 2 days ago went before Jim Jordan's committee in the House, all right? And one of the Republicans, of course, the Democrats were going to ask him about, what about the client list? What about Epstein's client list? Was Trump on it? Which we know was not true, but that's neither here nor there. One of the questions from one of the Republicans is how has Trump attacking these drug cartels helped the FBI? Which I believe it has helped the FBI.
Oh yeah.
So again, it's him doing what he's doing has helped the FBI go after the FBI and the DEA go after the drug people in America.
I'd like to get some updates from Kash Patel on that sniper's nest they found at the airport the other day. It was a week ago today they found it, and unless I missed it, I didn't hear anything about it in any of yesterday's news coverage. And Kash Patel was on TV all day. Did he even get asked about it?
Not that. I mean, we knew what they were going to ask him about. The Democrats, Jamie Raskin and the rest of them were going to stick with the whole thing with Epstein and all that stuff. We knew that. We knew that was going to happen.
The thing with Epstein, Trump. Everybody knows Trump has nothing to do with that. That's just their distraction. SOS. Anyone that brings up Epstein, they're give me a break.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And look, what he's doing with these drug people, again, it goes back to the Monroe Doctrine.
It does. All right, listen, I got to run, Mike, but I appreciate the call. Now, today on the program, it's Friday, so it's open phones. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. Any and everything on your mind is fair game on Friday's show. And I want to tell you, we're approaching the end of the second month of the expanded early show and everything else I'm doing, which is sponsored by MyPillow. So it's very important for you guys. I got one more week. Mike Lindell is sponsoring this massive expansion of the program. So you got to go to MyPillow.com, use my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, and load up on MyPillow products. It's a great time to do your Christmas shopping. There's great deals, and let Mike Lindell know that his sponsorship is working, it's effective, and that his money is well spent, because I'm going to have a meeting with them either Friday, but it will probably be the Monday after. Okay, it'll probably be a week from Monday, the first weekday of the new month. And they're going to tell me whether they're going to continue or not. And their continuing will be based on the response that they get from you in the audience. So go to MyPillow.com and use my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, and load up. All right, yes, please do that. And if you'd like to call in, the toll-free number is pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631. And over the weekend, look for me on Newsmax. I'm going to be on Wendy Bell this weekend, which is on both Saturday and Sundays, twice on Saturdays, twice on Sundays. Check your local schedule for the time, because the time will depend on what time zone you're in. But it's really good show. You're going to enjoy it. Okay, so Pam Bondi, she was on with Jesse Waters last night, and she's really taken on these rebellious insurrectionists like Karen Bass and others who want to arrest and dox ICE agents. Listen to this. I love it. Okay, now, Pam Bondi, she's really taking it to them. These illegals, there's so much money that's made off of these illegals. I was talking the other day with a caller. The state of California, one of the reasons they're doing this and there's such panic is the state of California's entire economy is based around the illegals. Just the healthcare alone, right? We often talk, everybody has forever, that the illegals use the hospitals as free clinics. And you know what happens when you go to an ER? They want to run $10,000, $20,000 with tests you don't need. But they've been getting reimbursed from the federal government through Medicaid. And since President Trump has cut that off, and that's only one thing. There's other things too. But just with that alone, many experts that I've been following politics out in California and coverage of this over the last few weeks, they're in a panic that the entire state of California will collapse. They're talking about it rather openly over this. That's why they're pushing this government shutdown so hard over the Medicaid for the illegals, because it's not just California. I imagine there's a similar thing with blue states, blue cities, and blue counties all over the United States that are going to be they're going to collapse financially because they're not getting reimbursed, because the illegals are still going to the hospitals and using them as free clinics. And that's one of the, and I'm surprised more people in the media with the government shutdown aren't talking about that. They're telling us all the time, the Democrats, right? We want the health care for the illegals. Well, that's why. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, it's Jim from Kentucky.
Yeah, Kentucky.
Hey, what's up with that stupid fucking hat on your fucking cunt head, you fucking dumb cunt?
What's
up with that clown hat,
with the language?
Dumb cunt.
What's with the language?
What's up with that cunt hat, you cunt? You look like a dumb cunt. What's up with the dumb cunt hat, huh?
I mean, I don't, those of you that are new to the program, I do not shy away from people that disagree with me. I really don't. And that's been something I've always done. I've always taken calls all the years I've been doing this from people who disagree with me. But you just can't repeat profanities over and over again. You have to have an actual discussion. Right? And so far as the hat and how the hat goes, I've got more MAGA hats probably than any of you out there. I have a lot of MAGA hats. Not because I bought all of them. A lot of you nice listeners over the years have been sending me MAGA hats. Some I've bought. The one I'm wearing I bought from the Trump official campaign site, Trump 2028. But I don't know what it is about the Trump 2028 hat that triggers these guys so much. But I mean, I've never seen anything like it. I really haven't. I love this hat. It's my favorite hat. President Trump sells these Trump 2028 hats at the gift shop at the White House, as well as on his official site. And it's my favorite hat because that I have that's a MAGA hat. Because of the messaging, I do support Trump running for re-election in 2028, as well as 2032, 36, 2040, 44, 48, 52. For the rest of his life, I support him running. But the official hats that are made by the president himself are so well made. This hat is so comfortable. It is so perfect and fits on my head so well. I don't even realize I'm wearing it. I love this hat so much. But I don't know what it is about this hat that triggers these lunatics on the left, mostly men who are real perverts. You hear the language that comes out of their mouth. The only thing I could think of, it's beyond just normal Trump derangement syndrome. You hear how the guy's talking. I think just the very idea that Trump will be in office another term, just the thought of it, they can't bear to think about. I don't know what that is. If you're on hold, stand by. We're going to be transitioning to the radio here in just a couple of moments. So and that guy that just called, he's called minimum 5 times in the last couple minutes. He's calling again now. Why? So we can say those perversions again? I think just the idea of Trump coming back has got them freaked out so much. I don't know why. If you're a leftist, if you're a liberal, articulate really why you're so opposed to Donald Trump. And I'll tell you what I mean by this. Donald Trump, what he represents is so many of the things that Democrats think they represent, right? Doesn't have the corporate interest. He doesn't answer to the donors. He's independent, just answers to the voters. Puts America first. He's an anti-war candidate. He ends wars. This war on drugs has been going on forever and a day. He's going to end this war like he's ended those 8 others around the world. He gave the biggest tax cut in the history of the United States to low-income workers with no tax on tips. Gave a massive tax deduction to Social Security recipients. Really articulate what it is. He's not against gay rights. So he didn't ban abortion, which a lot of Republicans talked about. He overturned Roe v. Wade and said it was up to the states to decide. And I just saw in California, or not California, Colorado. I was just reading a story this morning. In Colorado, they're going to be performing abortions at 8.5 months at some clinic in Colorado. Trump didn't outlaw abortion. He left it up to the states. So I don't know if you can articulate it, but why do you really hate him so much? He stopped the invasion of the United States. He's ridding our major cities of crime. None of these things, I don't see why any Democrat would be opposed to that. It really, truly makes no sense. Let me pull up this, if I can find this story from California. I might not have tweeted it. I might have. Hold on. Let me pull it up. Oh, yeah, this was a good one. I want to play that. Let's see. I'm not sure I can play this one on the radio, so I'm going to play this before the radio show starts because we're going to be starting soon. This is one of the EBT people. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I can't play that one on the radio, but we're not on the radio yet. It's insane to me. The entitlement class in the country have gone to a whole new level, haven't they? I want to see if I can find this story. Yeah, here it is. Okay, I'll share this when we get back. It's in Breitbart. Just over a minute and the show will start. So if you're on hold, stand by. I'm not going to take any calls until we start on the radio. Now, from this point forward, no profanities, guys, or just have to dump the call. You can't use that language on the radio. No, that guy that called me about the hat is called 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times in the last however minutes, right? I mean, what's that about? We got about 30 seconds and we'll be live. So stand by. If you're on hold, hang in there. Welcome, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. Welcome, everyone. Oh, boy, we've got a lot to cover today. Callers on hold, you stand by. It is Friday, and of course, on Friday's show, it is open phones. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. And on Open MAGA Mike Friday, the show prep is up to all of you, okay? You don't even have to comment on the things that we bring up on Friday's show. It's all up to you guys. The other 4 days of the week, you got to talk about what we bring up and what we want to talk about. But Friday, it is open phones, Open MAGA Mike Friday. Anything and everything on your mind is fair game. The number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Call us on hold. Stand by. There are a couple things that I want to bring up before we go to the phones. Before the radio show started, in the pre-show on my YouTube channel, which you guys should be following me on YouTube if you don't. Brian Craig Show on YouTube. I start the show 30 minutes to an hour early every day. Sometimes I go late till 9:30. And of course, my afternoon shows and weekend shows. And I take calls just like I do in the morning radio show. But when I'm doing the pre-show, we don't have the restrictions we have on the radio so far as, content when it comes to language. And we hear some strange folks. And I got a call from a very strange man, of course, from Kentucky. Why are they always from Kentucky? I don't know, about 10 minutes ago, and just said the worst words that a man can utter out of his mouth in the English language. And, and I was talking, what is it that has these liberals opposing Trump so much? I'm not talking about the Democrats in Congress, okay? That's a different thing. I'm talking about rank and file Democrats around the country. President Trump is the leader of the Republican Party. He is a conservative. He is the leader and founder of the MAGA movement and always will be. But he's not the Republicans of yesteryear, not just because he is accomplishing all these things. I give you an example. What I mean is, why are you truly opposed to President Trump when it comes to policy? Specifically policy. I don't want to hear any talking points about, personal things. I'm talking about when it comes to Trump's policy, in particular in his second term, what's your beef with him? The largest tax cut given to low-income Americans in the history of the United States with the no tax on tips, and he gave a massive deduction on Social Security to seniors. Those groups of people never get tax breaks because they don't pay income taxes. He gave them a huge tax cut. And when it comes to the social issues, President Trump is not Pat Robertson. As an example, abortion. He didn't outlaw abortion or even restrict abortion. He overturned Roe v. Wade. So in some places in this country, there's more abortion and it's more liberal than it was before, because with Roe v. Wade overturned, it didn't outlaw abortion. It let the states decide. And I saw this article in Breitbart this morning. Listen to this. Colorado clinic offering abortions up to 34 weeks for any reason, like you don't want stretch marks. A new clinic, that is, what is that? That's 8.5 months, right? Gee whiz. A new clinic opened in Boulder, Colorado that offers to abort babies up to 34 weeks of pregnancy for any reason, which is 10 weeks after most babies can survive outside the womb and roughly 6 weeks before a baby is considered full term. Or 7.5 months. It's early and I'm behind on my coffee. So give me a break. But this is a late-term abortion. The clinic opened in response to the shuttering of the Boulder abortion clinic in April, the Daily Mail reported. The facility was operated by 87-year-old abortionist Dr. Scumbucket. I can't believe, and was infamous for being one of only a handful of clinics in the United States that performed abortions in the third trimester. So, this is a terrible thing, and this is god-awful. I'm strongly pro-life. I'm so pro-life, I'm against the death penalty, and not a lot of Republicans are against the death penalty. I am very pro-life. And when you're talking about late third trimester abortions, I don't like talking about this because I get physically ill thinking about it. My wife and I had a friend many years ago. This was like 20 years ago. Was a friend of my wife's, and she was a wealthy woman. She was a millionaire. She's passed away since, but she was a millionaire. and her teenage daughter, who was 16 or 17, had gotten pregnant, and she got her an abortion in the 6th month. I was so physically ill and disgusted by it, as was my wife. We never talked to her again. That was it. We were no longer friends. Couldn't be friends with her. I mean, who would do this? Now, the reason I bring this up, though, is because those of you that are Democrats that are opposing President Trump, I want you to explain to me policy-wise, what you oppose him doing. I'm not talking about your personality or some talking points about some ridiculous issues that are untrue. I'm talking about his policies that he's brought to us in this 2nd term. This is the most perfect presidential term in the history of the United States, and that is not an exaggeration. Everything he is doing is so beautiful and perfect. It really, truly is. And obviously, I'm MAGA and partisan, but I can look outside of that box and look at what he's doing policy-wise. And I'm not talking about the politicians. I'm talking about rank and file people that are Democrats, liberal, that are listening to me right now. I would love you to explain to me policy-wise what he's doing policy-wise in his 2nd term that has you so spewing hate towards him. Because I can't think of anything that he's doing that's not perfect in his 2nd term. And you know what? I think the Democrats would have a hard time doing that as well. All right, our number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air.
Hello?
Yeah, you're on the air. What's your name?
Is this Brian? Did I get...
Yes.
You're
on.
Is this Brian?
It is. I'm Brian.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir.
That's okay. What's on your mind?
Hi, I work for, my name's Lori from Idaho.
Mm-hmm.
I work for TIPS, and I don't see any taxes, I don't see any change in it. I'm still being taxed on TIPS. And does anybody know anything about that?
When you say you're being taxed on tips, what do you mean?
Well, I'm still paying taxes on my tips.
How are you paying taxes? How are you
stuff.
paying taxes on your tips?
Well, when I do my taxes at the end of the year.
We haven't gotten to the end of the year yet. It's not tax time yet.
Well,
you're talking about last year's maybe. This year, you haven't done your. This year's not over yet. Oh my goodness. What do you do for work?
Well, I'm a massage therapist.
You're a massage therapist. Okay.
Yes,
you
sir.
haven't done your taxes for this year yet. Oh my goodness. Are you really? Let me ask you a question. Are you just making crap up? We're still in 2025. You don't do your taxes until the year's over.
Okay, can I say something? You don't have to get upset. I'm a full-blown patriot.
I don't know about that.
Okay, because nobody, even my boss, when we're asking, we didn't know if it came out of our checks every 2 weeks. That's all I'm asking.
What you need
Nobody
to do,
has an answer.
What you need to do is what smart people do is have an accountant. But you're not.
I have an accountant, and I am smart. And I used to. You know what? You're a fucking asshole.
Oh, there we go. First dump of the day. If you're on hold, stand by. That's perfect timing because it's time for a break. She's a patriot talking like that. You know, what happened with her is she felt stupid. You're not doing your taxes yet. She's doing her taxes in October. Give me a freaking break. Oh, man. I want to talk about George Colony, who just joined the program. And he's a real estate agent, but he's so much more than that. And I was talking about George Colony yesterday, and I met him, I was introduced to him by Tom Laporta for Laporta Roofing. And I'm going to give you his number in a moment, which, like Tom Laporta, is George Colony's cell phone number. But, you know, for most people, the biggest investment you will ever make is your home, right? And it's an important decision. And when you're making your largest financial decision that most people will make in their life, which is the purchase of their home, who are you trusting that decision to? Well, your real estate agent, right? George Colony has been in the real estate business for over 6 decades, over 60 years. You know, when you're dealing with a regular insurance agent, you're dealing with someone, I'm sorry, I know a lot of you out there are real estate agents, but most real estate agents that you know, they're bartenders on the weekend, real estate agents part-time. They were working at, they used to work at Barnes & Noble. Now there's no bookstores, so they got a real estate license, you know, and now they're a real estate agent. They were working at Old Navy. They don't know, nothing. There's nothing wrong with I'm not trying to knock all of you, but with George Colony, you're not dealing with some real estate agent. You're dealing with a businessman who has over 6 decades of experience in all facets of real estate, who's been involved in multi-billions of dollars in transactions of real estate. He handles commercial, residential, everything when it comes to real estate. Not only that, because of his experience, you know, we have a recorded commercial with George Colony. You may have heard it. And he says in the commercial, people ask me, when's the right time to buy and when's the right time to sell real estate? And he says, the answer is, it's always the right time if you have the right advice. And that's what you're dealing with. You know, when you're dealing with such a life-changing, super important financial decision that will quite possibly be the biggest financial transaction you ever make in your life, you want a businessman involved, not someone that's a bartender over at Chili's who is now doing real estate. You want a businessman. So, and by the way, he's based in Fort Lauderdale, but if you're considering, no matter where you are in Florida, give him a call. But if you're considering moving to Florida, give him a call too. This number rings directly to George Colony's cell phone, 954-801-7320. 954-801-7320. That's 954-801-7320. Make sure you tell him Brian Craig sent you. Call us on hold. Stand by. We'll be right back. All right, guys, I got to get a couple things together here. All right, we'll be back in a couple of minutes. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm trying to find... Okay, I got to do that. I'm organizing my commercial copy for the show, which I normally have organized, but I forgot to do it before I went on the air today. And there's one that I can't find. I don't know where I put it. Great. Okay, I'll figure it out. All right. If you're on hold, stand by. The number is 888-465-2631. We'll be back in 2 minutes, and I'll go back to the phones. Oh, my goodness. Who's doing their taxes in October? The way the taxes on tips work is you take it as a deduction when you do your taxes for the year. So if you got $10,000 in tips, you can deduct $10,000 off your income taxes, which means if you're a tip worker, chances are you're going to get a nice return. And if she's got an accountant, they would know that. My goodness. I think she just felt stupid. So she was lashing out with the language. But you would think a massage, she was a masseuse, she said, a massage therapist. You think they'd be more relaxing. Does a massage sound like it'd be relaxing with her? Oh my goodness. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll be back in just over a minute, and then we'll go to the calls. Oh my. Oh no, you can get accountants I see them like at Walmart, and when you're walking out of Walmart, there's accountants. H&R Block, they don't charge much at all. But you can't do your taxes in October. You gotta wait. You gotta wait till the year's over. I mean, you can, I have to pay my payroll taxes. I have to pay every quarter, and. If you have an accountant, they'll estimate your taxes. So, I put money aside every week for that. But she's going to get a big deduction if she's keeping track of it. Welcome, everyone. Oh, boy. Yeah, callers on hold, stand by. We're going to go back to the phones. Boy. The callers have been very salty with the language this morning. Okay, here we go. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. The lady with the salty language before the break, I think she was just embarrassed that she got caught lying about doing her taxes in October. But, the way that no taxes on tips work, it's a deduction. So when you do your taxes at the beginning of the year, you get to take it as a deduction. So if you got $10,000 in tips, you get to take that as a deduction off your taxes. So most people that are tip workers, with that deduction, most tip workers will be getting a refund. That's right. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Willie. I'm in New Mexico right now.
Okay. Get ready,
hey,
Mike. It's going to be one of those
The
days.
Idaho lady was right. You are an asshole.
Okay, is that the second dump of the day, Mike? Don't you love these leftist intellectual arguments? If you're on hold, stand by. We're going to wait for the delay to re-engage. We're winning when they have no arguments except for that. I mean, how could you be angry that President Trump has given you the biggest tax deduction you could ever hope for as a tip worker? No taxes on tips. That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. And you would be angry at that? And so far as accountants, somebody said to me in the live chat, oh, maybe they can't afford an accountant. I see accountants when I'm walking out of Walmart sometimes at tax season, or H&R Block kind of places. And I would imagine, if you can get like a real accountant, that's what you want to do. Don't try to do that. What's that program, TurboTax? Oh, good luck with that. But I'm sure even TurboTax will have the tip deduction added into it this year. Oh my goodness! But she very well may not have known you're not doing your taxes yet, and that's what I mean. President Trump, when he pushed through, which he should have had to push through it. The Democrats should have been supporting this. No tax on tips during the big beautiful bill. What I was telling you guys at the time was that group of work. I'm going to go to the phones in a moment, guys. I'm making sure the delay is re-engaged. Those groups never get tax breaks. In the past, when taxes are lowered, they just move around the income brackets. And most tip workers don't pay income taxes. They pay payroll taxes, not income taxes. So payroll taxes are the automatic deductions out of your paycheck. You don't pay income taxes, most people that are tip workers. right? So they don't know how it works. So maybe she didn't know how it works. I'll give her that. But all right, the delay is re-engaged. Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is Dan. I'm from Pittsburgh, PA.
Hey, Pittsburgh. What's up?
First time caller.
Oh, the kiss of death.
I was just calling two things.
Here we go.
First,
get ready, Mike.
I've been a steel mill for about 25 years.
Oh, hold on. I can't. You got to speak up. I'm having a hard time hearing you on your speakerphone.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
I said I worked at a steel mill. I still do for about 25 years. I've never had an accountant in my life. Does that make me stupid?
Yes.
Oh, it does?
Yes.
Also, what makes you a patriot? Because if you ask me, I think you're just a little fucking dork.
There we go. Boom. Third dump of the day. Third dump of the day. Mike, I think we might go for the record. I think we're going to go. I think today. Let's keep track. Let's start now. Is that the third or fourth dump? I think it's the third. We may beat our record today for having to use the dump button. Now, for those that wonder what the dump button is, on the radio we are on a delay. The length of the delay varies based on what radio station you're listening to, but it's between 7.5 and 10 seconds. And when people use words that you're not allowed to use on the radio, we dump them. So there's a dump button, and when you hit the dump button, it cuts out the 7.5 seconds before, or the 10 seconds, whichever one it is. And the thing they say doesn't go out on the air. That's what, when I say I'm using the dump button, that's what we're doing. So that is the third dump of the day. This is great. Is the Guinness Book of World Records still in existence? Because I bet you we've got the record of any radio. This is the longest running radio show in the state of Florida. But I suspect we might hold the Guinness World Record for using the dump button more than any other program. There's one opening on the board at 888-465-2631. I want to talk about the Sloman's Shield Link. This is absolutely amazing. The Sloman Shield Link is integrated into your Sloman Shield. You can connect your alarm system, your cameras, even your shades, your thermostat, your television, your garage door, all with the Sloman's Shield Link. With just one click, you can set a scene that controls multiple devices at the same time. You can disarm your alarm and instantly adjust your thermostat, turn on your lights, and even get the TV and the audio system in your home where you want it to be. It's really amazing, and it turns your home into the Jetsons is what it does. And you don't have to figure it out yourself either. Sloman's has 24/7 customer support. So once it's, by the way, it works on all the devices you already have, okay? They have 24/7 support. So after they set you up, the installation, the setup, all that's free. But once you're set up, if you have a technical issue or you want to add devices, no matter what time of day or night, they're right there for you. I don't have the number right. Hold on, let me find the number. Where did I put the number for Sloman's? I can't believe it. I did this the other day too. I'm in the middle of doing a spot, and I misplaced the number. 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050 for the Sloman Shield Link. 833-283-5050. I'm Brian. Callers on hold. Stand by. Have we had a call yet that we didn't have to use the dump button on? Oh, boy. It's going to be one of those days. We'll be right back. Oh, man. This is awesome. I'm going to wait. A lot of times I take calls during the break. I'm going to take all the calls on the air. Okay? Let's see. If we're going to hit the record. Who's going to be the first caller that I don't have to use the dump button for? Right? Who's going to be the first call I don't have to use the dump button for? Oh, man, oh, man. Yeah, if you want to call in, the number is pinned in the live stream, 888-465-2631. What is it with these leftists? Oh, one of the things Trump has done that's very exciting, we're going to have all Coke is going to be Mexican Coke now. Coca-Cola is going to start selling the cane sugar Coke here in the United States now. And I remember on our first MAGA cruise, one of our stops was in Mexico. Where did we go? Anybody remember? What's that island we go to sometimes in Mexico? I can't remember. The Mexican island. Any of the cruisers in the chat? I can't remember the name of the island. Oh, man. Well, anyway, when my daughter and I, when we got off the ship, the first thing we did was go and get a Mexican Coke, because they make it with cane sugar and it tastes so good. You can get it in some places, like Chipotle's been selling Mexican Coke, but now all Coke is going to be Mexican Coke. They should put that on the bottle. Mexican Coke. Everyone would buy it. Mexican Coke. Cozumel, thank you very much. Cozumel. Yeah, there was right off the dock, there was a 7-Eleven. And we went right to the 7-Eleven and got Mexican Cokes. Yeah. Cozumel. Yeah. We're going to do another trip down the road. We go to Cozumel or not Cozumel. I can't remember the name of the place that I want to go to. Okay, we're going to be back. If you're on hold, stand by. We're going to be back in 2 minutes. Coke also, not only does Mexican Coke taste the best, it's better in a glass bottle too. Yeah, but Dr. Pepper, I like Dr. Pepper. I'm a pepper, you're a pepper, but it kind of tastes like cough syrup, doesn't it? I'm a Pepsi guy myself. I like to alternate between Coke and Pepsi, but Mexican Coke is the best. The best things that have come out of Mexico are Mexican Coke and Corona. Yeah. Don't you think they should put, if it was Mexican Coke, if they put that on the bottle, it would be so popular. Mexican Coke. Just over a minute, and we will be back. So if you're on hold, hang in there. Oh my goodness, these callers today. All right. 1 minute, we'll be back. All right. I'm queuing something up to play. There's 2 openings on the board. I hate when there's a non-skippable ad when I go to play audio. Okay. Let me cue this up. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Brian Craig, and this is Florida's longest-running radio show, the Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. Okay, there's 2 openings on our board on this open phone, open MAGA mic Friday at 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Me, I'm calling from California. Oh, and, yeah, it's Steve.
All right, California, what's on your mind?
I have a question about the White House. Well, what's your opinion on the whole, I keep hearing that people, that like taxpayers are paying for the White House.
The taxpayers are paying for the White House?
Yeah, because it's coming from DOJ funds, right?
You're talking about the ballroom that President Trump is adding to the east wing of the White House, not the White House. You're talking about the ballroom. Yeah, in fact, not only taxpayers are not paying for the new Trump ballroom. It's being paid by donors and the president himself. In fact, yesterday, the White House released a list of donors, which included YouTube, Amazon, and others. No taxpayer money for the new ballroom. Nope.
Oh, so when you so how come he's suing the DOJ? He wants $250 million or whatever the price for the DOJ, and that's what they're needing for the White House or the ballroom, which I find funny.
They're not. No, the government is not. No, there's no taxpayer money going for the ballroom. It's being paid by President Trump and private donors who have donated money. They released the list of donors yesterday.
What's Trump's dick taste like? Does it taste pretty good?
There we go. There's the fourth dump of the day. Fourth dump of the day. Boy, since I thought this would have, that's the fourth one, Mike. Oh my goodness. I thought I would have aged out of this. But from the moment I started on the radio, I've had a following of gay men. Whoops, sorry guys, I dropped something. I've just had the gay men have been very attracted to me since I started on the radio. And when I first started and I was 18, 19, okay, but now that I'm 54, it continues. And a lot of these gay guys that are obsessed with me are in their 20s. It's like an age reversal. Like when I was like 18, 19 and in my early 20s, the gay guys that were, after me and follow me all the time were like in their 40s and 50s. Now I'm in my 50s and the gay guys after me are like in their 20s. It's very strange. I would have thought I would have aged out of that. It's just, I guess it's just something you get used to. It's something that you get used to. So that is the fourth time we've had to use the dump button today. Oh man, I tell you, we got to keep track of this one. We're going for the record. Hey, it's Open MAGA Mike Friday. Let's have a good time, right? The weekend is here, and we're just 2 hours and 24 minutes till the weekend. Doesn't everyone's weekend start at 9 a.m.? All right. Before I go back to the phones, I wanted to play this before I forget. This is one of my favorite little clips of the week. This is, and since that last guy called in about the ballroom, Josh Hawley was asked by Mono over here on CNN. He's named after a disease or something. Listen to this. That Josh Hawley had such a great response to this. It's about the ballroom. That's right. Don't you love it, Josh Hawley? Yeah, I know. That was a good one. I like that. All right, the delay has re-engaged. Let's go. You're on the You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I would prefer to keep the secret. You never know.
Speak up. Speak up. I can't hear you.
Oh, I would prefer to keep my name secret.
Your name's secret, like if your name's Steve or David or something, that's something. Can you speak up a little bit so we can hear your stupidity a little clearer? I'm having a hard time here. I heard you want to keep yourself a secret. Okay, I get that.
You never know who's out there.
No one interested in you, I promise you. All right. Oh, boy. I tell you. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Reggie. I'm from D.C.
Hey, Reggie. Oh, crime-free D.C. Awesome. You calling in to thank Trump?
Yes, sir.
Calling in to thank Trump for that?
Yeah. I do love Trump, but you a bitch, motherfucker.
There we go. Is that the fifth time? I got to start. Fifth time, Mike. Mike, you're not going to get to pee during the show today, okay? Let's just settle that one. You got to stay there by the board. Oh, my goodness. I lost track. Let me write this. I got to get a piece of paper. Is that the fifth time? Is that the fifth dump of the day? Hold on. Let's go. Let me get some paper. Let me get a notepad. Okay, I got a brand new pad of paper. Now I just need a pen because I am losing track already, friends. That was the fifth call and the fifth dump. Oh, boy. There we go. Got it right there. Going for the world record on the program today. If you're on hold, stand by as we wait for the delay to re-engage. 6. Oh, no, I was wrong. It's the 6th. Okay, we're at 6 dumps. 6 dumps. Oh, my goodness. This is great. This is great. You know who would have loved this? Neil Rogers. Neil Rogers would have loved this. This is like a Neil Rogers show. Well, if you're on hold, stand by as we wait for the delay to re-engage. I want to share this story, though. I shared this in the pre-show. I want to share it with you guys now. Brad, who goes on our cruises, Brad, he's a MAGA Republican, and he's based in San Francisco, and he stays up late. And he knows that I'm up early. So he texts, we text early in the mornings a lot because it's late for him. He's up late, I'm up early. And he goes on our cruises. You cruisers, you guys know Brad. He's awesome. And he sent me a story that I missed out of Washington State. Listen to this. This is from the Washington State jail system. Whistleblower alleges Blue City jails hired over 100 illegal guards over several years. So they had over 100 guards that were illegal aliens, illegal migrants, working in jails throughout the state of Washington. And, when I look at that, I got to wonder, how did that happen? Because, they do background checks. We're finding out about these illegal cops and everything else. And I'm thinking it's a lot like The Departed. Remember The Departed? Great movie. The last interesting movie that Alec Baldwin was in. Remember Jack Nicholson in The Departed? Had all these guys embedded in the police department? I think that's what's been going on with the cartels. And these prisons these jails in Washington State, I wonder what other states this is happening in, are being run by, they have criminal guards so that they can help keep the crime going inside the prison. Organized crime, these gangs, they operate in these prisons and make big money in these prisons with everything going on in the prisons. And what better way to do that than have illegal aliens as guards? You look at what Trump has saved us from in this country. He saved us from so many things. Our country was on the verge of being wiped off the face of the earth with everything that's going on, like this. All right, back to the phones we go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. Chris from Pompano Beach.
Oh, hey, Chris. We're going for the Guinness World Record today on the largest number of dumps with callers.
Well, the sad part about all that is these are people with automatic bias, and the majority of them, as far as regular civilians go and, citizens, are these from the sexual preference group, as you mentioned. I'm glad you had mentioned that, because they're the ones holding on to the Democrat Party because they do all their biddings and get all their things passed when they're in office.
I'm trying to, by the way, Mike the board op, we're at 5 dumps. The first one, that was before the radio show started. That was a pre-show. We didn't have to dump that, so that one doesn't count. So we're at 5. I was talking about this before your call. What is it about these gay guys that are just so attracted to me at my age? Why haven't I aged out of this? It was really bothersome when I was a young guy, right? Especially working in an industry that has so many gay men working in it. But most of these callers that call in that I've had to use the dump on, they're all gay. What is it about this program that's attracting so many gay men?
Well, that's just the thing, the program. You're speaking truth. Fortunately, those out there that are as liberal as they are, even more like Bill Maher, they're starting to come on board and say, look, guys, I'm liberal too, but you can't just say anything, and you have to come up with solutions and all that. Don't just hate. And these guys are hating on you because, one, again, they're attached to that Democrat Party, and then the second thing is you're out there, you're presenting truth and fact. They don't like that.
Oh, you mean I'm not good looking? I thought you might. Okay, all right. It's my opinions. They're attracted to my mind, not my looks. Maybe because I've lost all this weight from Coastal Weight Loss Secret. Lost over 35 pounds. And maybe that's given a resurgence to my gay follow. I don't know.
Yeah, I was about to say a little bit of both, but yeah, for the most part, anything to keep it negative. And so you're out there speaking truth.
Yes.
So they're
Truth to
they're a
power.
little annoyed about that.
Well, they're going to keep hearing it. All right. Appreciate the call, Chris. All right. Now, this very well may be the most important question I ask you today. Do you or someone you know suffer from neuropathy? Holy smokes. Neuropathy, I don't know if it is, but it should be considered a disability. Steve Kane had neuropathy so bad he couldn't get out of bed. He was bedbound, not just homebound, bedbound. He had every symptoms in the medical journals, too. Numbness, pain, burning, tingling in the hands and feet, muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching, the feeling of pins and needles in the hands and feet, no feeling at all. People with neuropathy are falling down all the time. It's just a god-awful way to live. We searched long and hard to find a treatment for Steve, and we found Lighthouse Medical in Pompano. Now, I want to say, Lighthouse Medical, they can help you no matter where you're located in the United States. So get ready for the number, guys. Lighthouse Medical has a treatment for neuropathy. Lighthouse Medical has a treatment for neuropathy that works. I've seen it work on Steve Kane and many of our listeners. And Lighthouse Medical has a treatment for neuropathy that lasts. Steve had his neuropathy treatment over 3 years ago, and his symptoms have not returned. He was in such agony. We weren't thinking about the long term. We were thinking about now, at the time. And here we are over 3 years later, and his neuropathy has not returned. Isn't that something? Give him a call. When you call, make sure you mention you heard him on the Steve Kane Show so you can take advantage of the no-charge consultation. And remember, they can help you no matter where you are in the USA. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642. And online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. All right, the official dump count number is at 5. We'll take our break and be right back. All right, now if you're on hold, we're going to take the calls on the air. I'm not going to take the during the break calls today. Okay. We will be back shortly. And, I want to remind you guys, I've got 1 week of the month left. And go to mypillow.com. Use my promo code Kane at checkout. I've got this monthly review coming up with MyPillow. Are they going to continue the sponsorship of the expansion of our programming? And a week from today is the last day of the month. And I'll be meeting with them a week from Monday. And they're going to let me know if they're going to continue. You can use my promo code Kane at checkout on all the specials at mypillow.com. Let Mike Lindell know that you support him and this program. You've got to use the promo code Kane at checkout so Mike Lindell knows that his support is working. Yep, hang in there. I'm going to take the calls when we get back. Those of you with the green behind you, if you go to my mainstream, you can see and hear all the audio and video I play. The link's in the description. All right, we'll be back shortly, guys. 45 seconds. Oh, and guys, don't forget, if you're a Patreon supporter, those Patreon-only live streams, I did one this morning before the show. Make sure you check it out. Look out for those notifications if you're a Patreon supporter. 30 seconds. All right, we're back. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show. Back to our phones we go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Lou in Western Pennsylvania, Brian.
Hey, what's up, Lou?
Hey, I've been thinking, who has been able to influence people, not only nationally, but all over the world in such a positive way to add to the quality of life that President Trump has?
No, no one I could think
of.
He
is really... No, I can't either. I mean, what he has done in 10 years is really something.
It is.
He has got millions of people not only to follow him, but to stay with him.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Just outstanding.
And everything he's done is so good. You know, I asked this question, and if you know, this is what's caused, getting back to a serious tone on the program, okay? If you notice, the liberal callers have been completely unglued today. And the reason is...
Oh, great.
I've just been having fun with it, but the reason is I asked a question that triggered them. And here was the question. It's a simple question. Those of you who do not support President Trump, give me an example of a policy position of his in his second term that you take issue with. And they can't think of anything. So they're lashing out like lunatics.
Right. And he invites people to do that to him.
Yeah.
He has people on his staff in his circle. He wants to hear from them. But, it's a shame that the goofballs have to call you like that.
Oh, I don't mind.
Ruin your
I don't
show.
mind. That's not no. I love it. I think people need to see. It's like the No Kings. People need to see what they're all about. You need to see what these people were running the country a year ago. Think about that. These are the constituents of the Democrats.
Yeah, very, very sad to think of that. But good things are there, and you keep going, brother.
All right, take care. Yeah. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning. This is Rollo. Fuck you.
Okay, there's the sixth time. Okay, now we're at the sixth time. 6 dumps, and we're 53 minutes in. Okay, we're getting there. Anybody know, does the Guinness Book of World Records still exist? I need to know. Okay, now I want to read this post from the president on Truth Social about what the Canadians did, and we'll talk about it. President Trump has called off all trade negotiations with Canada over this Ronald Reagan ad that the Premier Ford put out there of Ronald Reagan. President Trump posted this to Truth Social. The Ronald Reagan Foundation has just announced that Canada has fraudulently used an advertisement, which is fake, featuring Ronald Reagan speaking negatively about tariffs. The ad was for $75 million. They only did this to interfere with a decision of the U.S. Supreme Court and other courts. Tariffs are very important to the national security and economy of the USA. Based on their egregious behavior, it's early. All trade negotiations with Canada are hereby terminated. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President DJT. Okay. This is an absolutely amazing thing. Now, I'll tell you this about the Reagan speeches. All of the Reagan speeches are copyrighted and trademarked by the Reagan Foundation. You don't hear me. I'm not even playing this ad. Some people will today. I don't play Reagan clips. You don't hear me play clips from Ronald Reagan. There's so many good ones. They are copyrighted and trademarked. And that's always kind of bothered me. I didn't understand why they weren't in the public domain. Now I know. Right? Because they want to use them against him. They want to edit them up and make him say things he didn't say and all of that. And that's why they do it. This is what I mean about President Trump saving our country from being wiped off the face of the earth. When have you ever seen a president of the United States truly stand up to defend the people of the United States? When? You know, Ronald Reagan, one of our greatest presidents, even Obama was praising him when he was president all the time, the team of rivals and all that nonsense that he used to act like he was putting together with Lincoln and then Reagan. They were always quoting, you know, he was quoting Reagan and Lincoln all the time. And so even Biden was saying nice stuff about Reagan, not when he was president, but in his Autopin administration. And Canada has done something disgusting with Reagan, putting out a false advertisement implying that Reagan said something that he didn't, which goes against everything President Reagan stood for. And President Trump stood up to defend the honor of President Reagan. When have you ever seen a president do that? Stand up for the honor of another president. I think it's pretty amazing. I really do. You know, what Canada has done is so disrespectful. You know, the days of disrespecting the United States and then getting money from us after you do it, those days are over. All right, let's go. The delay is re-engaged. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Once, twice. All right, you missed your chance.
You know,
you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
And just hold it to it. Hello?
Yeah, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Okay, my name is Mohammed, and I'm calling from Houston, Texas.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Okay, I want to say something about the hat you have, 2028.
Yeah.
I did vote for Trump this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why did I vote for Trump? For 4 things. The economy, because I know he's a cabinet with the economy. For ending the war, because I know this guy, he loves, you know, like to have business and deals and stuff like this, and no wars, no nothing. Third thing is the political correctness, you know, like the free speech.
Mm-hmm.
And now the thing is, the first time, honestly, I did not vote for him because he was attacking Muslims, he was attacking like the Middle East and attack everybody. But this year, I did vote for him because he said he's going to end the war, he's going to bring all these investments, all this stuff. But the thing is, till now, I have a business. I'm an owner. I'm a small business owner, right? My business has been struggling since Biden took over. It's okay. When the first Trump was on, it was beautiful. Everything was good. That was my president, President Donald Trump. Biden came this year. When Trump came back, he's a different person. I don't know him. What you think?
No, he's not a different person. What, you're blaming him? Your business isn't doing well?
He changed everything.
What has he changed? Tell me what he changed.
Okay, first of all, about wars. Now, you know, like, there is war in Ukraine, war in the Middle East, war in Venezuela.
He ended the Middle East. Hold on. When he came to office, do you know how many wars there were in the world when he came to office less than a year ago? How many wars?
It was war.
No.
Okay,
when he came, and now listen, you have a heavy accent. So do you. I have an accent. So maybe you have a hard time understanding me. If you don't know, you can say you don't know.
I'm originally from Palestine.
Hold on. When President Trump became president this second time, less than a year ago, how many wars were there in the world?
There is always wars in the world.
Okay, I'll answer the questions that you don't know. There were 9 wars going on in the world when he became president, okay?
Right.
Of those 9 wars, how many are still going on?
There is, like, now there is 2, but there is more coming out.
1. There were 9 wars going on. He ended 8 of them.
Okay, there is 1 in Ukraine and 1 in the Middle East.
Well, that's the one that's left. No, we ended the Middle Eastern wars.
No, not yet. It's still like, you know, like the people, there is no humanity to the people.
No, it's over. It's over. I'm sorry. It's over. You guys lost over there. You guys lost over there.
I want it to be over, honestly. I want it to be over. I want it to be over.
Well, you guys lost. The war is over. He ended 8 of the 9 wars in the world.
Okay.
So I only have 20 seconds till the break. But Trump hasn't changed at all. I don't know why you would think that.
I don't know. Okay, maybe he's doing this, just like he's cleaning up what's left from what he got from other people. So he got to start clean.
Okay, all right. I got to run for the top of the hour. I appreciate the call. 1 hour down, 2 to go. Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. Back right after this. I mean, Mike, if you're on hold, stand by. I mean, what the heck? What's up with that guy? That was not a Texas accent. No, it was not. Oh, I wanted to play this. I'll play this during the break. This is Don Jr. He was on Fox yesterday talking about the ballroom. Look at that beautiful palace that President Trump's building. Look at that. That's right. Yeah, exactly. Give me a break. Yeah, and I think Josh Hawley, he had the best comment. All of a sudden, they're tearing down all the statues and everything else, and now all of a sudden the Democrats, they want to preserve the American history. Okay, we're going to be back. I'm going to take all the calls on the air today. Hold on. Talking with Mike. If you're on hold, stand by. Okay, we'll be back in 2 minutes, guys. 2 minutes. Just over a minute. We'll be back, guys. Stand by. Welcome back. Hour number 2 has begun. My name is Brian. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Callers on hold, stand by. I want to play this clip. This is from the press conference that the president had yesterday with some of the cabinet. This is Secretary of War Pete Hegseth. Now he's talking about the drug cartels, foreign terrorist organization. About time, huh? There you go. I mean, this is the first time in any of our lifetimes where the United States military is involved in military action to directly protect American citizens in our homeland like this. We've never had this in our lifetime. Never. And it's a great thing. He's talking about the cartels there. It's only a matter of time before they start doing the land strikes on the cartel mansions and the cocaine farms and all of that. I can't wait. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Hey, Doug.
You know, I got to tell you this, man. Of all the days I wear my Trump the 28 hat or American Great hat, yesterday was the day of President Trump love. I walked into the store. I'm walking in. 5 young guys walk out. They see my hat. Oh, I like the hat. I like it. Oh, you guys are smart. I walk into the store. I turn to one of the lanes. 4 people are there with America Great hats on, talking to 2 people. We all bum fist. I walk down the lane. A woman taps me on the shoulder. Oh, I love that hat. So do you have one? Oh, I'm going to get one. And then ended up I go to the back of the store, and there's 2 more people wearing America Great hats on. I've never seen so many. Anyway, they said, "Don't you love President Trump?" I said, "Yeah, man." So I got the hat on. I said, "Thanks for wearing the hat." Well, it's about time we all start showing our love for President Trump.
No doubt.
I said, do you listen to Brian Craig? You sound like you're a Brian. No, who's he? I said, oh, man, you're missing a great show.
Oh, well,
I went off and told him everything good, man.
Oh, that's good.
It was
that's good.
I think this
my favorite part of the story is who's he. I like that. That was great. I like that part. That's the best part of the story, Doug.
Yeah, man. I think the No Kings protest did it in for President Trump. They made everybody love him come out of their shell. This is amazing, man.
Okay, all right. Hey, Doug, I appreciate the call. Now, today, I think I forgot, it is Friday. I can't believe it's Friday. The week has flown by. It is open phones every Friday on the program. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. The show prep is up to you and the audience. You can call in about any and everything on your mind on Friday's show. 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air.
Oh, hey, Brian.
Hey,
it's Karen in D.C.
Hey, turn the volume down in the back, Karen.
Okay, is it okay now?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Now, normally I'd call about politics, but I'm going to keep it light, okay? Because I've been listening since you came on the air this morning, and I have never laughed so hard in my life. You've got so many weirdos calling,
yeah,
okay?
I know. Thank you.
You wanted to know why gay guys are still calling your show.
Well, they're not just calling. They like got a thing for me. Obviously.
Yeah, okay. Here, now this is what I've got to tell you this, okay? I thought, oh no. Okay, you said older men called your show when you were in your 20s, and now you're in your 50s, and younger men are calling.
Yes.
One thing came to my mind. Now, you may not know this movie because you're in your 50s. I know this movie because I got more than 20 years on you, okay? There's a movie that came out in 1971 called Play Misty for Me.
Yeah, I know that movie.
Okay?
Of course, everybody in radio knows that movie. Clint Eastwood, of course. That's the scariest movie I've ever seen in my life.
Clint Eastwood Eastwood, okay?
Yes.
Now, if you saw the movie, he had a radio show in the wee hours of the morning, like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
And Jessica Walter played the obsessed character. She became obsessed with his voice.
Yes.
And I think that's the key to these guys calling you.
Yeah.
They're obsessed with your voice, okay? So I just wanted to throw that out there because I've just been cracking up all morning.
It's, listen, some of the longtime listeners that remember when I was like 18 or 19, I worked at a radio station. There were 2 straight guys. There were 3 straight guys on the air there. Okay, on the whole radio, it was 24 hours a day live talk. Okay, 4 because all night there were 4 straight men on the air at the radio station, 24 hours a day. Me, Steve Kane, Rick Theidemann, and Al Knight. Everybody else was gay, and it started and it started then. It was WFTL, and we always wondered what that F really stood for. But there's a couple of things. You think I'm kidding? Those of you that remember the old 1400, it's not on the air anymore. Not that new WFTL, the old WFTL. And when I said I thought I would have aged out of these gay guys, it doesn't. It's worse, and it's so strange that it's young gay guys. You know?
Yeah. I don't think there's anything you can do about it. But if you didn't see that movie,
there's not a person in radio that has not seen that movie. That is a horror movie. Play Misty for me. Yeah.
And listen, these nuts that are calling you with all this profanity and stuff, okay? They're horrors. These people have a screw loose.
You think?
What are they doing up at 5 o'clock in the morning? Do they work?
No.
Are they just calling just to? I don't get it. But anyway, I want to let you know about the movie, and
of course,
it is entertaining.
Play Misty for me. It was filmed in Carmel, California, where Clint Eastwood lived and was mayor. Remember, he was mayor of Carmel for a while? It was filmed in
exactly.
Carmel. Mm-hmm. All right, take care. Appreciate the call. All right, take care. Yeah, everyone's seen that movie. I would think that's... You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Charles from Illinois.
Hey, Charles. What's on your mind?
All right, don't cut me off. You're always interrupting. Just let me say a few things. You're always talking about how Trump is continuously winning.
Yes.
Right now, you know, it's funny how Mega don't want to talk about unemployment. Unemployment has increased under Trump.
That's not true.
That is true. It was at 3.9% January of 2025.
No, that's
right now
true.
it's at 4.3%.
None of that's true.
Okay, so
what they're doing. I mean,
none of it's true. What are you talking about?
Let me explain this to you. Okay.
There we go. You don't believe the numbers.
Well, Steve Kane has a saying about this. Okay, figures don't lie. Listen to this. This is a good saying. Figures don't lie, but liars can figure. Okay, and let me tell you about those numbers. And this is, I'm as serious as a heart attack. I want you to listen to this. Stop giggling and listen. Okay. What they're counting on those numbers are the illegals that are being deported. They're counting them as they were being counted as part of the workforce. And every time there's a deportation, whether it's by ICE or self-deportation, that's a job loss. Those are actually job creations that Trump is doing. That's how they're figuring that. And there's a lot of places like in California and other sanctuary areas like in Illinois where the illegals are not even showing up to work that are still here. They're afraid of getting caught by ICE. So those numbers are fake.
So Trump only added about a good, 60,000 jobs to the economy in the last 3 months.
No, the numbers are all fake because of the illegals that were being counted as part of the workforce that are gone.
Well, okay, this is another statistic that you can't.
Statistics are BS. What's so funny?
So what are we going? Hold on, because during the Biden, hold on, because during the Biden administration, everybody believed all these statistics. You always, Biden is Biden. Oh, look at the economy. Look at the economy. Now, hold on. Now, during the Trump administration, you don't want to believe nothing. Everything is fake.
No, actually, don't want to believe nothing is a double negative, which means we believe everything. Two negatives make a positive. But this is what I don't get about your bizarro giggling. Let's just say that this giggling you've been doing in the background. Listen to this. Let's say, just for the discussion, that your unemployment numbers are true. They're not, but just for the discussion. That would be a horrible thing. People can't provide for their families, pay their rent. And you think that's something to laugh at?
I agree.
Then why would you laugh at something like that?
No, I'm
why
laughing
are you
at
giggling
you.
like some villain in a movie? What
Because
kind of
it's
sicko are you?
like I mentioned earlier, it's funny how nobody want to believe the numbers under the Trump administration.
Polly want a cracker? I mean, he doesn't know where to go after I've explained it to him. Oh, are you in pain? Then go see Dr. Philip Appleton. It's Friday. You know, appointments are never necessary and walk-ins are welcome, even on Saturdays with Dr. Appleton, right? And the consultation is free. So if you're in pain, you haven't seen Dr. Appleton, go see him today. Or if you can't today, go tomorrow. Start the weekend getting rid of that pain, saying bye-bye to your pain, like I've done 7 times with Dr. Appleton. You know, his robotic laser is 100% painless. You don't even feel it. It repairs the damage that's causing the pain in your body. There's no shots, no injections, no pain medication, and no downtime. It just takes a few minutes, too. And it works on every type of pain I've ever heard of. Arthritis, bursitis, hip pain, knee pain, lumbar pain, muscular contraction, sciatica, strains and sprains, tinnitus, tennis elbow, neck pain, stenosis. Have you been in a car accident and you have pains related to that? It works with that, too. Give him a call and say bye-bye to your pain, too. 954-973-0710. By the way, the free consultation, you can take advantage of that without an appointment when you just walk in off the street, too. Okay? 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. Call us on hold. Stand by. We'll be right back. All right, guys, now don't forget, go to mypillow.com. Use our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. All right, we will be back shortly, guys. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll be back in about a minute, guys. Oh, and don't forget, look for me on Newsmax this weekend. I'll be on Wendy Bell Saturday and Sunday. All right. 1 minute, we'll be back. Yep, just check your local listings for Wendy Bell on Newsmax, twice on Saturday, twice on Sunday. And I dressed up. I wore a tie. Maybe you guys, I'm not going to tell you what tie I was wearing. See if you can figure out what was on my tie. When you're watching, see if you can tell me what design was on my tie. I'm not sure you'll be able to tell or not. All right, 25 seconds. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. And here we are on this Open MAGA Mic Friday. It is Friday. Fridays it's open phones. The show prep is up to all of you. We have one opening on the board. Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning, Brian. This is Richie.
Hey, Richie.
I'm going to bring something
hold on,
up
Richie. I got to answer all these lines. Oh, my goodness. We're going for a record in calls. Okay, go ahead, Richie.
Yeah, you don't really have expertise at this, but at half of it you do, and the half that you do have expertise is the corruption portion of it. And I want to also talk about Stephen A. Smith, who they're saying could be a nominee because he's a black conservative and he's very influential.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you about this. Stephen A. Smith. Why is everybody always kissing his butt like he's something special? He looks pissed off all the time. Yeah, he's not interesting. I don't know why people make such a big deal about him.
It's a stick. He's got a stick, and he's a New Yorker, and with his accent.
I don't find him interesting.
I know.
And I don't know why. Stephen A. Smith. Who gives a about what he said?
Yeah, I don't really care, but he brought up the fact that this gambling thing that happened with the National Basketball Association, he said that's an effect of Trump. You see, he's even being blamed for that. As something that's been investigated now for it's going on the third year.
Does he mean the arrest is the effect of Trump? Yeah.
All of that. He's blaming Trump.
Well, that's good. He's blaming him for what? Bringing it down?
No, he says that the NBA has talked bad against Trump, so that's one of the organizations he's
how I think.
Out.
When I saw that press conference yesterday, you know how I think that came to be, this basketball gambling racket. You know what I think happened?
Yeah.
I think Kash Patel's into basketball. What? He's into basketball, right? And he got his guys on this. That's what I think. I think it's just something he was personally interested in.
No, it's been going on. It's been going on before Kash Patel, but Stephen, listen, I got to say this, and I wish Steve was on at this point, because do you realize the implications that this has? These guys like Steve, and I don't do this because I don't sports bet. I got friends that are constantly betting sports bet. They bet these offshore and the NBA, and now they got all these gambling companies hooked up with all these professional sports.
Well, I believe it's all rigged, all of it. All of it.
It is.
All professional sports and college, it's all a racket.
You gotta understand. People out there gotta understand. My brother used to work for the state of New York under a Republican governor, Pataki. Okay, he got a political job at Yonkers Racetrack. I'm not going to bore everybody, but his job was to stand there and watch the veterinarian take the urine sample from the horse and then take took injections and he put a state seal on it and he put it in a refrigerator.
Yeah, but the thing about the yesterday, I was surprised that the Italian mob is still so active.
Yeah, they're involved. They're involved, and nobody. They've been silent for years, and it hasn't stopped.
Well, let me tell you, these guys that the coaches and the players and all, they're the stupidest people alive. Who the heck would get involved in any type of operation with the Italian mafia? You'd have to be out of your mind. You know it's not going to end well for you.
Yeah, right, but I disagree with your statement. The stupidest people in the world are not the people that were doing that. The stupidest people in the world are the ones that are gambling, thinking they know something.
Yeah,
this is terrible. I mean, Steve puts up I don't know how much he bets, but he bets on games. Mm-hmm. Steve, if he's listening, my God, you're betting on something that's fixed. These guys can literally drop a ball. They could actually, in football, I think football is totally fixed. All you have to do is take a flinch and your team is a loser because you're going backwards. It's a joke. I mean, this is a joke. Anytime gambling gets hooked in with professional sports, that's the end of the sport.
Yes.
And baseball had it for years, and now look what's going on.
Yeah.
And the mafia is involved. And this is a big deal because all sports are tainted.
Well, I wonder, Brian, I would imagine there's a lot of scared people around the country right now with this sports.
Oh, there's going to be more. There's going to be more.
Not just in the NBA. This is ongoing. I'm talking about everything.
No. This is an ongoing investigation. Mm-hmm. These people that have been doing this crap. I mean, can you imagine if that's like you saying, well, Richie, I'm going to go off the air in 5 minutes. Nobody knows this, and I know you're going off, and I make a bet that Brian's going off the air in 5 minutes, and I bet.
The bets, it was insane because the bets they were making, like the ones you're talking about, where they bet on what an individual player's going to do. You can bet on an individual player. I mean, instead of just betting on taking the odds on the win or the loss, that's doing these little. If you're winning pretty much every time on these little individual bets, you're asking to go to prison. But, money, it's greed. I appreciate the call, Richie. All right, you take care. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Once, twice. All right, you missed your chance. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, Jay from Jersey.
Oh, hey, Jay.
Yeah,
you okay?
Haven't been calling a lot.
Are you sick?
Haven't been calling a lot. What?
You sound sick.
No, I'm good.
Okay, just asleep. Okay.
No, I'm not asleep either. If I was asleep, I wouldn't be talking to you, fool. Now, back to what I was saying. I haven't been calling a lot.
I didn't even notice.
Because I realized I'm talking to a bunch of meatheads. You're all MAGA are dead from the neck up. You don't understand. You don't get it. Let me just give you an example of why I don't call anymore. Because nobody can convince none of y'all.
Now, I want to tell you. Now, while you're telling me you don't call, you're calling and talking to me. So you are calling.
Okay, don't call us.
And by the way, no one noticed that you haven't been calling or have been calling. I don't even remember the last time we talked. But
let me ask you this question. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Let me ask you this one question, and you give me a real answer that the people can understand is true. You think it's okay that the man destroyed the White House and tore down that East Wing? You think that's okay?
Yes.
Why?
Is there some special history of the East Wing I'm not familiar with?
Yes, that's where all the first ladies' pictures go. That's where everybody walks to see that scenery outside that all the other presidents have put there through the years.
They took the pictures down first.
Well, I'm pretty sure
let me tell you this. I did an entire show about this on my podcast earlier this week. You should watch it, but I'll give you. The White House, by the way, the East Wing and the West Wing aren't part of the White House residence, okay? That's all new stuff that's been added over the years. But and I showed pictures of this, and I'm sure you're aware of this, unless you're just completely uninformed. The White House that exists now The only thing that's even close to being original are the 4 outside walls. When President Truman,
everybody knows the White House burnt down.
No,
and guess
no, we're
what?
not talking.
The
All right,
black-
enough. We're not talking about when it burned down in the War of 1812. There's a very famous story about Truman. Okay, Truman was playing piano, and the leg of the piano went through the floor, and he was in shock. So he had them come in and inspect the White House. It was condemned. He gutted the entire White House. Gutted the entire White House. The only thing they left up were the 4 walls, down to the dirt in the basement. Gutted it and threw it all away. Then they rebuilt it completely. This is when Truman was president, okay? So, yeah. And everything that's in there now, it doesn't even look like it did before they rebuilt it. They made the halls, they changed the rooms, they changed the width of the halls and everything else. It was completely gutted, completely. And you can go on the White House website, they'll show you photographs of it, you know? So that's just that. I mean, you know, come on. And the other thing I'll say this, the East Room, okay? When I went to the White House, and when I entered the White House, I entered through where the East Room is. And I was very excited to enter through the East Room because I, you know, as a lover of history and everything, and I was in shock at how tiny it is. The entire White House is tiny, but the East Room is a very famous room, no doubt about it, but it is a tiny, tiny, itsy bitsy, teeny weeny little room. You would be shocked at how small the East Room is. You really, truly would. It's a worthless room. You know, and this grand ballroom, I mean, come on. But the entire White House, none of it's original. And this isn't about the War of 1812. That would be almost original. Go and look at the pictures of when Truman gutted the White House, down to the dirt, right? And there's nothing in that White House that is older than Truman. Okay? And I'm surprised more people don't know this, but then again, the critical race theorists have taken over the education system. Now, another thing you could be doing on Friday and Saturday is go to Friendly Tire in Margate. Friendly Tire is open on Saturdays, by the way. You're not going to find new tires cheaper anywhere else. And I want to remind you, you can get new tires out the door and on the road for as low as $75 a tire. And when I say out the door and on the road, Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to balance the tire, mount the tire, or even dispose of your old tires. And as low as $75 a tire for new tires out the door and on the road, that is for common sizes on some of the most common vehicles on the road today. He also does tire repairs and has thousands of good used tires in stock at even lower prices. Give Mike a call, Friendly Tire. Make sure you mention you heard about him on the Steve Kane Show. He'll take extra good care of you. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. That's 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate. We'll be right back. Yeah, I did an entire podcast on this the other day. And I went through all kinds of pictures from the White House when it was going through renovations. And it's surprising to me how people don't know about it. If you're on hold, hang in there. There's one opening on the board. They virtually rebuilt the whole White House. Like, look at this. This is a picture inside the White House when Truman was president. That's inside the White House. They gutted it all down to the dirt, ripped everything out. I mean, look at that. But Josh Hawley said it best. All of a sudden, you know, American history is historic. Okay. I'm going to take a call or two during the break here. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, good morning, Brian. Danielle calling from Michigan.
Hey,
Great
Danielle.
Show.
Thank you.
I just wanted to tell you real quick that I'll be watching this weekend. I can't wait to see you on the Wendy Bell Show again. You're so handsome, Brian.
Well, thank you.
And I just love when you're on her show. You're just wonderful.
Well, this show here,
keep up the great work.
I appreciate this show here. There's three of us on the panel, and there was one person there. I'm not going to tell you who it is till you watch it, but they have a Rush Limbaugh connection. I didn't know they were going to be there till we went live, and I was like shocked.
Oh.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah,
awesome.
Cool. Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. And thank you for educating all the people that are calling in, especially with the unemployment numbers, and they just don't comprehend what's happened. But I appreciate everything that you do, and you're so handsome. Okay. And I can't wait to see you on the Wendy Bell Show.
Okay,
Thank
that's
you
this
kindly.
weekend. Check your local listings for time. Wendy Bell is on twice on Saturday and twice on Sunday. So it's depending on what time zone you are in. Okay, when are we going to be back? Okay, I got time for another call. You're on the air.
Brother Brian.
Hey, IB, what's up?
Brother Brian, morning. Hey, I'm going to do a rapid fire, okay? I agree with what Ricky said, and Trump is going to catch a lot of these people on RICO, and I hope LeBron James gets it for putting that racist stuff on his own garage door. I hope he's one of the ones that are doing a lot of that illegal betting or betting on whatever, and I hope he gets caught up in that. I can't wait. I told you Doris from Texas was in Louisiana. Now how can you say you're in Canada, a whole other state? It's so absurd. He's such a liar. He'll never agree with anything you say. He's a child in a man's body.
So what do you think? What is the guy? That guy from Texas that said he was in Canada today? He slipped. I forgot his first name. You know what I'm talking about? The guy that called. But do you? I think he's a Canadian, and he's trying to pass himself off as an American. I think he is a foreign actor. Mm-hmm. Who would slip?
Wow, so he's actually
he slipped.
That's funny. Because he used to call from Louisiana a couple of years back. He told you his wife died.
Then he's in Texas, and then today he said Canada. So he's a Canadian.
All right. Yeah, the lady who said she's a massage therapist, I believe she's also lying, because when you brought up the fact to the one guy that Trump was no tax on tips, what she did was try to cover. She called a cover in for that guy, because one of my ex is a massage therapist, and she goes to people's places and businesses. So if you're getting tip, you're getting a check or you're getting cash. So that tip doesn't even have to be reported. The government wouldn't even know you're getting a tip, because you're not swiping a credit card at a business where it's recorded.
Yeah.
So she's a natural born liar.
Yes.
Kristi Noem yesterday made a very, very valid point, because we know that people want to get rid of. You always talk about the birth rate, the death rate to the birth rate, and we're not gaining people. And Kristi Noem made a good point that the amount of drugs we're getting, that we're shooting up the boats and killing those people, are actually saving many generations of Americans.
Listen, I gotta run. But I appreciate the call. All right, you take care. We'll be back in less than 20 seconds. All right, welcome back. It is Open MAGA Mike Friday. Open phones here on the show today. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air.
Hello?
Yep. You're on the air.
Wow, it's amazing. I didn't think I'd make it up.
Well, you made it. I can put you back on hold if you want.
No, that's not preferable. I do need to know a few things. You're pro MAGA? You're like in the Trump camp?
I am
or
MAGA.
Not?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course I'm MAGA. MAGA for life, man.
But why? So do you want a future where America is still an entity, or do you want a MAGA entity into the future?
MAGA is America.
Of this country?
We want an America.
MAGA.
Yes, MAGA is America.
You need to convince me why MAGA isn't the enemy of the state.
I'm not going to convince you of anything. Well, what do you mean I got to convince you? You know the narcissist, you know one of those narcissists, Gen Z or millennials, that want people to go around convincing you of things all the time? What a narcissist. Do you go around...
So when you can't even see reality in your face, yeah, you got to fucking convince me.
There we go. All right, there we go. 7th dump of the day. I told you, Mike, you're not going to get to pee today. No bathroom breaks. Oh, my goodness. Let me get my pad out. Hold on. Let me get my pad out. We're going for the Guinness record of dumps. If you're on hold, stand by. That is the 7th dump of the day. And you hold on. We got to wait for the delay to re-engage. We're going for the record. We're going for the record, guys. I love these Gen Z and millennials. You convince me, convince. I think they try to. Who are you to me to convince? While we're waiting for the delay to re-engage, though, the president's press conference in the White House, the one he had with Kristi Noem, Pete Hegseth, Pam Bondi, it was a great one. And then he dropped something that brought a tear to my eye. Listen to this. I mean, that is when have you and ever? I think this has never happened before. So some super rich guy. I mean, who is that? Elon Musk did this. Some super rich guy called the president and said, "Hey, whatever shortfall you have to paying the military salaries, I want to make it up." And he said, was it $120 million check he sent just to pay our service members? When have you ever in your life seen a president of the United States announce that someone's donating money to cover the salaries during a shutdown to the United States military? They may collect money for their campaign. They may give money to some place in Africa to build wells that'll never get built. I've never seen anything like this before. That was one of the most historic moments in the presidency of the United States ever. Not just President Trump's, I mean all of them. Never heard of such a thing happening before. When I heard him tell that story yesterday, I was in shock. I hope the person allows themselves to be identified so that we can thank them. That is one of the most patriotic acts a civilian has ever done. That we're in Beamer territory with that. If you remember Beamer. You think Mom Dottie knows who Beamer was? I bet he doesn't. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, this is Brenda. I'm calling from South Georgia right now. You make my dick so hard.
See, there we go. Oh my goodness. That is the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or that's the 9th dump. No, 8th dump. 8th dump of the day. 8th dump of the day. I know what the record is. I'm not going to tell you. Okay? When we break the record for the most dumps in a day, I will share it. Okay? But not until we break it. We're gonna get there soon. I just got a text from somebody. Did they announce that they did it? I did not know that was announced. Okay. I'll check that out during the break. Somebody just sent me a text that the person was. If you're on hold, stand by. As we wait for the delay when we break the record, I'll let you know. But we're getting there. We may break the dump record today, I tell you. Oh, man. Steve's going to kill me for doing this. I'm going to get in trouble after the show, guys. I'm telling you, I'm going to hear it. But back to this, okay? The caller earlier that said, do you want an America or a MAGA America? This is a MAGA America, okay? This donation to cover the salaries. MAGA America is an America where people stand up and do what's right for the country. And that's what this guy did. I mean, I've never heard of such a thing happening. In fact, it's such an unusual thing. I've never even heard of something like that being considered before. Have you? Mm-mm. Now, I want to talk about Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. You know, when it comes to your roof, it really, a lot of things are important when it comes to your home, but nothing's more important in Florida than that roof. It really isn't. You know, you've got a wet spot on your ceiling, you got a leak in your roof, no doubt about it, but you also have a loose shingle, you have a loose tile, and that's what the winds are looking for as they're trying to enter your house during a tropical storm or even a hurricane. But, you know, letting the wet spot be ignored can cause you all kinds of problems. That's what happened to Steve Kane. Steve Kane had a wet spot on his ceiling. That's where this message came from. He had a wet spot on his ceiling, and he ignored it. Next thing you know, he had a wet spot here, a wet spot there, a wet spot everywhere. And by the time, and then he had buckets around the house collecting the water when it rained. I'm not kidding. Multiple buckets. You went to Steve's house. It was insane. And that's how we found Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. And Steve had to get a new roof. He ignored the leaks, that wet spot. He had to get a whole new roof, but he also had to have 40% of the drywall in his home replaced because the drywall absorbed the waters from those leaks, and he had deadly black mold growing in his home. The moisture in his walls and ceiling from the leaks he ignored caused a termite infestation, so he had the termites eating his house. It was a mess. But if he would have called Tom Laporta when he had that first wet spot on the ceiling, he probably just would have needed a simple repair. Give Tom Laporta a call. He covers both the east and west coast of Florida and everywhere in between. This number rings directly to his cell phone, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. That's 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaRoofing.com. Call us on hold standby. Back with your calls after this. Okay. If you're on hold, hang in there. Oh boy. We are at 7 dumps. I just was checking with Mike here during the break. We are at 7. I mistakenly said 8. We want to, we're going for the record here, so we want to get the numbers right. This was just, if you're on hold, stand by. This was completely insane last night on Brett Baer. This guy's out of his mind. Insane. Unbelievable. What a monster he is, isn't he? Isn't he not a monster? Who would say such a thing? The murders are maybe he doesn't count black murders. Maybe he's such a racist. You know, I don't know, or he's just lying. Okay. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll be back in about 30 seconds. Yep, we're taking calls. We'll be back in less than 30 seconds, and I'm going to go back to the calls. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. It is Open MAGA Mike Friday. The show prep is up to you guys on Friday's show. Open phones. Any and everything on your mind is fair game on Friday's show. There's one opening at 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Richard in Pompano.
Hey, Richard.
I'm glad you're a history major, because you're probably the only person that can answer this.
Oh.
In 1776,
I doubt it.
when they declared independence, was that the moment the Constitution was
No, the
written?
Constitution was in 1787 is the Constitution.
Oh, okay, well, even that's even better then, because I'm wondering if there's any words in that, or if the people even knew about other countries at that time, 1787, that were communist. Is there anything?
No, communism had
written in
not been invented
Constitution
yet. There was no communism yet, no.
Well, that answered it, because I was wondering if something was written that you cannot be a communist and hold any office or something.
All right, I appreciate the call. It is Open MAGA Mike Friday, but we got to have some quality control. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. This is Pete from Oakland Park.
Hey, what's up, Pete? Can you turn the volume down in the background?
Yeah, I just turned it down. I got you on the other phone out on the porch. I'm watching you on one phone and calling you on the other. So
okay.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
But anyway, these people, that's what's worried me for a long time. Is our young people. And they're our future. They're the ones that's going to be leading this country one day. And I fear for our country when I hear some of these people that call you up. It's just unbelievable how indoctrinated, and I don't understand it, because I'm 70 years old, so I come from a different day and time, But I mean, you got Jay from Jersey.
Yeah. What about him?
Jay from Jersey. He really. It sticks in my craw. A lot of stuff he says. He's very racist. But my great-great-grandfather, he was a first lieutenant in the Union Army. He fought in the Battle of Chattanooga and the Battle of Chickamauga to free slaves. And for him to say stuff like that, just stuff he says, it just gets me.
Yeah. Well, the thing about all this, liberals have always been misguided and stupid. But I've never heard them at the level they're at now. And it's because the Democrat Party is about to fade out of existence. So there's a lot of anxiety on the few Democrats that are left. And that's what's going on with the callers.
Well, as far as the ballroom goes, I hope they name it the Grand MAGA Ballroom. Of course, if the Democrats ever get back in there, they'll tear that down.
Well, now let me tell you.
That's all they do.
Let me tell you something. What you said is so true. I was about to say that. We're going to have in the future, and this may be the next, President Trump said that the ballroom's going to be done in 17 months. I have a feeling it's going to be done before the 250th 4th of July. They're going to go quick, and it'll be under budget. But, the next presidential election, whoever the Democrat nominee is, they may run on the promise to tear down the Trump ballroom. Can you imagine? These are some
Yes, I can't imagine them doing that.
people.
Yes, I can't imagine
Absolutely.
them doing that. But, I was in remodeling for 46 years in Nashville, Tennessee. And those idiots on TV he's demolishing he's tearing down. Well, I got news for you. If you're going to remodel something, you got to do demolition. I had to do it for 46 years, tear up something that was already built so the people, I could build the people that were hard me something they wanted.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, it's just crazy. It's just really crazy. I hear it every day on your show. I hear it, and it's just, but it worries me. I'm a sort of a subscriber to Hillsdale College, and every month they send me a pamphlet of something. And what's the lady that the laptop from hell?
Miranda Devine.
Yeah. She's got a thing on there. This article that she's written in the Hillsdale thing. I wish every kid could go to Hillsdale College because. Well,
a Hillsdale College degree probably would cost you jobs. Like say for example, you had a degree from Hillsdale College, and then you went and tried to become a public school teacher. What are the chances you don't get hired just because of where you went?
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Right. Yeah, you're right about it. No, you're right about it. And you know more about it because your wife's a school teacher. You were college educated in history. You know more about it than I do. But yes, I agree with that 100%. They wouldn't. I mean, everything's so still DEI in some places. Down here in Fort Lauderdale, right below us, it's the craziest town I ever seen in my life. I mean, I don't even understand some of the people at all.
Fort Lauderdale. I grew up in Fort Lauderdale. My mother lives in Fort Lauderdale. I go there all the time, and I think Fort Lauderdale has more rainbow flags per capita than even San Francisco. They might. I mean, it's every business.
I agree with you.
I mean, it's a rainbow flag. It's so bizarre.
Down there. I had to go down to the Home Depot yesterday and pay on my bill, and they're in Wilton Manors. They got a bridge that's across a little canal there or something,
Yes.
And it's a rainbow. It's all the way across it. It's a rainbow.
Wilton Manors is a gay village. Years ago, in the 80s and early 90s, Wilton Manors was a dump, and the gays turned it into a gay village, and they made it all nice.
Well, yeah, but they build their own little communities, but then when they riot and stuff, they want to tear other places down and burn it down. Yeah. I don't know. It's just it's kind of crazy, but I don't. I don't really care about all that.
There's a thrift store on Sunrise Boulevard and US 1, not by Searstown. When you get out towards the beach, that part of US 1, how US 1 has the two different things, and it's a thrift store, and it's a gay thrift store. It's called the In and Out Thrift Store. So, I mean,
I've seen that.
You've seen that? They got it's like the gay. Fort Lauderdale.
And they got the out of the closet. They got the out of closet.
That's what it is. Out of the closet. That's what it is. That's what it is. The out of the closet thrift store. That's right. That's what it is. Not the out of the closet thrift store. It's on Sunrise Boulevard at US 1, the east part of US 1, where you go up to the down there by the intercoast. Yeah, by the Galleria.
Brian,
the out of the closet thrift store. There you go. Yes,
Brian. Me and my wife are very proud of what you're doing, and
thank you very much.
You take abuse very well, but
you call this abuse.
Me and her we're headed down to Homestead for the weekend because just to get away from
what do you come on? I have never heard someone say I'm going to Homestead for the weekend. What is in Homestead that anybody would go to?
There's a nice little there's two reasons we go there.
Yeah.
There's a nice little motel there called the Garden Inn. They have very fair prices, and beautiful rooms. And very
why would you go stay
clean.
in a hotel in the middle of the Everglades in Homestead? That sounds like a hooker hotel.
like 1 block away. No, it's nothing like that.
I got 10
1 block away.
Yeah.
1 block away is Chrome Avenue.
Yeah.
And the American Legion sits there, and we go to the American Legion.
Oh, okay.
We go down in the Keys up. We go down the upper Keys during the day.
When I go to the Keys, I go through Homestead, but I never stop. It's straight. Listen, I got to run, but appreciate the call. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. We'll be back after our top of the hour break. I've never heard someone say, I'm going to Homestead for the weekend. I've never heard that before. Ever. That was very strange. Have you ever heard that, Kathy? No. He's going to Homestead for the weekend. Okay. Okay, hold on, guys. Yeah. That is a funny name for a thrift store, though. Out of the closet thrift store. It cracks me up, yeah. Pretty funny name. Welcome, everyone. There are 2 openings on the board. I'll take the calls when we get back. We'll be back soon. About 90 seconds. We'll be back. I misplaced all my commercial copy, but I just found it all. Got it all organized. You just got an invitation to a thrift store in West Palm. What is it, like Instagram trying to get you to go somewhere? They heard the conversation. Isn't that weird? You have a conversation about something like in private, and then all of a sudden Facebook and Instagram, you find out we're listening to you. Man, I'm so messed up on my copy. Here we are. Okay. 30 seconds, we'll be back. All right, guys. All right, the final hour of the week has begun. My name is Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. It is Open MAGA Mike Friday. On Friday, you can call in about any and everything on your mind. The show prep is up to you guys. The number is 888-465-2631. That last caller before the top of the hour, I have never in my life heard someone say, the wife and I are going to Homestead for the weekend. That sounds crazy to me. Maybe it's changed. I don't know. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. One moment. I was just watching your video. There's a little bit of delay.
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, I'm Enriquez, and I'm calling from California.
California. Speak up, California. What's on your mind?
All right. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
All right. So I'm just kind of curious. I haven't really seen your channel. I've just been watching a few conservatives and a few liberals on YouTube, and I'm just trying to really understand what's happening in society. So I'd like to ask you like a quick 10-point bulletin sort of thing.
No. Out of your list of 10 questions, pick the best one that you want to ask and just go with that.
No. I was just asking.
I'm not going to sit here and be interviewed with 10-point questions from some half asleep guy in California. Pick your best one and we'll talk.
Very well, very well. Do you believe a human life is a right or an opportunity?
I've never heard such an insane... What was that? A human life is a right or an opportunity? Is that what you said?
Which one is it to you?
Human life is a gift from God. That's what human life is. What kind of question is that?
Right.
What, are you into abortion or something?
Well, no, it's just a foundational question to start the
foundational question? What is it? A foundational question. I love it. I'm somewhat interested in your stupidity, so let's go. Pick your second best one. Oh my goodness. This guy.
Very interesting. May I ask why you're so assertive with your projections of
well, you're a terminally boring caller. As a caller, you're terminally boring. And I'm trying to make this terminally boring call where you're pretending to be some psychiatrist or something, you know. And here you're calling me from a state run by Gavin Newsom that doesn't even have water in its fire hydrants. That's an open rebellion against the federal government, leading an insurrection in Los Angeles. And his life an opportunity. I mean, what is the matter with you? Pick your second best question, or I'm about ready to hang up. This is terminal. Go ahead. Second best one.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, you know what? I'll stop wasting your time. It's been a pleasure speaking.
Okay. Well, thank you. Yes, I appreciate that. You're on the. Let me put you back on hold. You know, what this guy wanted to do is for me to sit here and answer 10 of his questions. Oh my goodness. You know what he does? He calls shows to get them off the air because they're so boring, the audience disappears. Oh, my goodness. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian.
Yep.
Brian.
Yes.
Vincent Wellington, how's it going?
Hey, Vince, what's up, man?
Yeah, good to call in on an Open MAGA Mike Friday. I just wanted to congratulate Trump on his ballroom. Yes. Hopefully they don't try to filibuster against him doing it. But
they can't. How can they filibuster again? They can't. It's his house, and he's building it with private money.
Yeah, I think it's great. Also,
I love how the media and the Democrats, all of a sudden they become a homeowners association, right? You've got to get authorization to work on your house. I don't think so.
Not when you're the president.
Exactly.
But, he's got plenary power to do what he wants, just like all the other ones did. But I think it's great to have all these liberals calling in, and they're trying to justify having illegals here, even though the term illegals is illegal.
Yeah, exactly.
But, aside from that, the people that we don't realize that are being affected by what Trump is doing, some of them aren't even alive today. Okay, they're going to be alive later on when the effects of what Trump has done for our country from this point and from what he did the first time around.
In fact, there will be people, there will be perhaps even, there will be hundreds of millions of people, maybe even more, that will be born over the course of time just because of what President Trump's done. By ending the 8 wars, overturning Roe v. Wade, there's a life born every day that would not have been born if it were not for President Trump. Many lives a day.
Right. And not even just that. The opportunity for people like my children that had very little dim future when Biden was just allowing all these illegals to flood our country. They don't realize that you can't go get 2 jobs out there when you need one because there's no job for you to go get. They don't realize that 140, just in the state of Florida alone, I know for sure, in one Walmart, 140 employees were illegal. They had to get terminated on the spot when Trump changed the law.
Yeah, that's right.
Cannot,
and not only that, there's tens of thousands of truck drivers are illegals that have illegal driver's licenses that are losing their, those are all job creations. Every deportation is a new job created.
And that's the reality, is that they don't want to admit the fact that they were flooding our workforce with illegal people that should have never been able to work here legally, but they authorized them and gave them all of these. I mean, I found them out in public, just people threw their ID card that wasn't like a real ID card. When I was out fishing, I would find these things sometimes, and it's insane how many people in this country were working under a fake, well, not really a fake system, but basically a program that they allowed them to work under, and people don't realize what they've done.
That's right. Yeah, they've been destroying our
California,
country.
all these kooks in California, they're like, oh man, no person's illegal. Oh, no person's illegal. How do you say that when you can't go to Mexico? You can't. Mexico's deporting people
why
too right now.
Why do I need a passport to go on our MAGA cruise every year? Right. I guess
what's the point?
Exactly. I got to have a passport. I cannot enter these countries for a few hours on a shore excursion without. I can't get on the ship without the passport.
Yeah, I think it's great what Trump has done, and they don't realize the effects that are going to be for our future children, our grandchildren, that they're going to have opportunities that we didn't. They're going to have opportunities that I don't know an American out here that works for the lawn companies out here. I see all the landscapers.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you, there are so few lawn guys in my neighborhood now, and the ones I see, they're all Americans. And just not that long ago, the neighborhoods were filled. I was getting knocks at the door day and night, and it was illegal lawn crews. And there's not that many around. I worry about it. Like if my guy moves on, I'm gonna have a hard time finding. But this is a great time to start a landscaping business, because the illegals aren't driving around anymore. And I have you noticed that in your neighborhood in Wellington?
Well, yes, and definitely in Wellington, it's definitely changed.
Yeah.
But in Broward County, they just don't care. Like in Broward County, the laws. I mean, I'm watching Palm Beach. I see what Palm Beach does every single night, every single day. They are pulling over these work vans. They're pulling over these big trucks in Lantana and Boynton Beach and Delray Beach. But see, they don't do that stuff in Broward County, and I think it's criminal.
ICE has authority there. I got to run, but some good points. All right, take care. If you're on hold, stand by. I want to talk about Coastal Weight Loss Secret. I was just hearing from one of our listeners yesterday who lives in another state, who has their free consultation set up with Coastal Weight Loss Secret. No matter where you are located in the United States, Coastal Weight Loss Secret can help you, okay? And we have had listeners from all over America call them and are losing literally a ton of weight. If you want to see my miraculous weight loss, I'm going to be on Wendy Bell's show this weekend on Newsmax. Check it out, Saturday and Sunday. Check your local listings, and you'll see the miraculous weight loss on your high definition television screen. It's amazing, the weight loss, and I notice it in so many places in my body. My jawline. When I look back on Inauguration Day at Wings Plus, my face was round, like a face within a face. I didn't realize. And now I've got my jawline back, my cheeks back, my neck back. I no longer have partially obstructed view when I look down. My stomach is flat, all because of Coastal Weight Loss Secret. It's amazing. And let me tell you, I didn't take any medications and no shots. You see people that have those medications and shots. They look ill, don't they? They look ill. You want to look good and natural like I do. Coastal Weight Loss Secret. Call and schedule your no-charge consultation, 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlossecret.com. We'll be right back. Hey, Barry, hold on. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll get to the calls after the break. Okay, we'll be back in 1 minute, guys. All right, here we go. If you're on hold, hang in there. All right, welcome back, and it's time to check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. What do you have for us today, Barry?
Well, Brian, today I was going to talk about one of the big issues that comes up in estate planning, and that's probate and how to avoid it. And a lot of people have heard the term probate. They're not quite sure what it is. I kid around that all they know is that it's something they need to avoid. You always hear about avoiding probate, which you do want to do. But probate is court. It's a court system that happens after our death. If we didn't plan properly and our assets are still in our name at the time of our death, then our estate is going to have to go through this probate process. And just like any other court process, it can be time-consuming, expensive, aggravating, and it's a public process. So, for example, the probates typically take anywhere from 9 months to 2 years. So it's going to take all of that time for the assets to actually get to your loved ones. when they may need it right away. It could be very, very expensive. We could be talking about tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on the situation. It could be, of course, a lot involved, a lot of things for your loved one to have to deal with on top of the mourning that they would be doing for their loss. And the fact that you have a judge involved making decisions, somebody who doesn't know you, it would be much better to have a trustee, the person of your choice, handling everything, where everything gets transferred to your loved ones very quickly, inexpensively, if not no cost, depending on the situation. And it's a private process. And it's actually my book, Sunshine State Succession, that's available on Amazon, actually goes into this, both what is probate and how to avoid probate. And of course, we cover that in our seminars. So, and of course, we also cover it if anybody wants to just come in for a free, no obligation consultation in our office. We answer all the questions about that and help people avoid probate every day.
Let me ask a quick question, because what if, because some people may say, I'll be dead. Who can? You could actually be running your family into debt when you're gone. If a family has to go through probate and they don't have the money to pay an attorney, what happens?
I mean, there are different options that people can do. There are ways that people can pay. There's sometimes they'll just put part of the assets down, and then once the estate is open, it could be paid through that. There are other programs that people can pay through. So there's multiple opportunities.
None of them sound good, because if they got the trust, you have to pay the lawyers. It's all done, right?
I'm sorry, I missed what you said.
When you have the trust all done and everything's ready, you don't have to pay the family doesn't have to pay the lawyers when you're gone. But if something's not in the trust, they got to either use what's left of the estate to pay the lawyers or put it on.
Yeah, when somebody has a trust, I mean, it's going to be much simpler. Some people choose to hire an attorney to handle the trust administration.
Yep.
It's not required, as with a probate. It is required. Somebody has to have an attorney for full administration. So
expensive.
And a probate would be much, much more expensive.
Absolutely.
Sure.
You want to avoid that at all. And think about it, guys. All the saving and scrimping that you've done in your life, did you do that to pay some lawyer for probate lawyer when you're gone? I don't think so. You ever not take a vacation because you wanted to save up a little money? The probate attorney will be taking the vacation on your money that you didn't take. All right, listen, give the Siegel Law Group a call and take advantage of that. Yeah, Barry's laughing, right? I know, exactly. That's exactly right. Give the Siegel Law Group a call. Make sure you mention you heard Barry on the program. And when you mention Attorney Barry Siegel was on the radio here, you can take advantage of that no-charge in-office consultation. 855 FLA 3782. 855 FLA 3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Barry, we'll talk next week.
All right. Thank you so much, Brian.
All right, take care. All right, we're back. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. How are you doing today? My name is Mark. I'm from New York.
Hey, Mark in New York. Mom Donnie land.
Hey. I'm on the opposite side of the state.
Oh, good for
I don't know how to deal with that guy.
Yeah.
Two quick things. My wife's a CPA, and she said that the no tax on overtime, because I don't deal with tips, it gives me a $12,500 deduction next year, which doesn't cover all my overtime. So, it's not all overtime.
There's a cap on it. I don't know what it's capped, but hey, if you don't want that $12,500 deduction that Trump gave you $12,500, and you're griping
on a deductible. It brings down my tax responsibility a little bit, but not all.
But you're in a different situation. For a lot of people, that'll $12,500 a year deduction you just got from the President of the United States, okay? And it's higher for some other people, depending on, because whatever the bracket is. So it'll reduce what you have to pay. But for most people, the no tax on overtime, it means for most people that get overtime, that means they're going to get a return. You make too much money.
I'm just well, I mean, I work a lot, so that does push me into a different bracket.
Hey, listen, if you don't want the $12,500 that Trump gave you, you can send it to me. I'll split it with the guys at the radio station, and we'll party. If you don't want the money.
I'm just saying it's not like it's not cut and dry like Trump made it sound.
You are so insanely out of your mind. You just listen. Think about this. You go out to your mailbox and you get a check for $12,500 and you're depressed.
That's not how that works.
You make too much money.
That's how deductions work.
How much do you make a year?
About $100,000.
$100,000. So your wife's a CPA. So you've got a $12,500 deduction. And you're complaining.
It actually brings your tax.
But most people that earn overtime aren't making six figures a year. Most people that earn overtime are earning a lot less. They're going to get a massive return. And by the way, what about the deduction on the interest on new car purchase of American cars?
I mean, I don't know anything about that. I don't have a new car. I mean, I drive a 16-year-old car. So, I mean, we're very frugal.
You're so out of your mind. You're so out of your mind. I might buy a new car with that deduction. I mean, you know.
Really? You're going to go out and take on a debt?
I don't know. I might get a new car.
You're going to take on a debt because of a deduction?
I have two cars, right? My wife's car is new, and my car's a 2011. My car's a 2011.
Like you're frugal too. That's awesome. I wouldn't take on debt just because you're
whatever. I don't know what you're talking about, but this is what I know. Okay, if I'm getting a $12,500, a deduction is money in the bank that you wouldn't have. That a $12,500 a year deduction. But you understand, for most people that work hourly, they work overtime. That means return. You just make six figures a year. Plus, your wife is an accountant. So you make $100,000. Your wife's making more than that. Right? So the two of you together are making over you're making $250,000 a year or more, maybe even more. And you and your wife earn too much money. So it's just a deduction. But for most people, it's a check. Because they're going to get a refund.
I get that. I'm just saying, like, a $12,500 deduction doesn't translate to a $12,500 return. It equates to about $8,000.
Oh my goodness! Hey, I wish Trump would. I wish Trump would send me $8,000. Oh my! I can't. This is nonsense. I can't talk to this guy anymore. Did you hear what I'm hearing? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Bruce from Lake Worth.
Yeah, he got a 12% raise, over a 12% raise. And he's complaining. I question this wife accounting. Go ahead, caller. Did you hear that last caller?
I did.
What the hell?
It's pretty funny.
I mean, did you hear that
guy? Anyway, I want to make a point to you. You know, people get all ticked off about your hat. You know, they get triggered. And if you think about it, like, Trump's already on his third term. It's going to, by January 1st, it's going to be his fourth term. I mean, this guy is doing so much that he's already, I mean, it's like, it's too funny. These people are just ridiculous.
You know, that last caller, his voice is familiar. He calls from time to time. I don't remember who he is or anything, but his voice is familiar. I just cannot imagine someone complaining about something like that. It is beyond my ability to comprehend. Him and his wife. And you notice when I said, because he said his wife, he makes $100,000. His wife's the bread earner, right? So the breadwinner, which means he's got some issues. And I said, your wife makes more than you. You're making at least $250,000 or more. He didn't deny it, which means they're probably making $500,000. Right, close to it, right? And they make he's out there working hourly, while his wife's making a couple $100,000 a year, and they make too much money. This is what happens: you can make so much money, you don't get to take advantage of certain deductions. For most people, that work hourly, they're going to get a massive return because of that no tax on the overtime.
And he doesn't even grasp. He doesn't even see your point. I mean, it's a lot of money.
Well, when your wife is the breadwinner, it does something to your mind. It turns you into like a weak man, a weakling, a weak metrosexual man.
It's true. By the way, I wanted to make one quick point. I just wanted to correct you a little bit. It's figures lie and liars figure.
Isn't that what figures? No, figures don't lie, but
figures don't lie. No,
I told you. Steve Kane has a phrase when callers call in like that.
Yeah. Ask him because I think I got that. I ever got that.
Steve put his own spin on it. Figures don't lie, but liars can figure.
Okay.
And that guy was trying to tell me that the unemployment numbers are up under Trump, and I was explaining to him.
It's a joke. It's just a joke.
Okay, they're all a joke. All the calls today have been a joke. Now I got to tell you, we got a week left in October. October is Sudden Cardiac Arrest Awareness Month. Cardiac arrest is what I thought I was going to have before I went to Life Imaging FLA. It is Sudden Cardiac Arrest Awareness Month. Okay, and what that is, it's a national observance each October dedicated to raising awareness about sudden cardiac arrest and the life-saving actions that can make a difference and save your life. Sudden cardiac arrest is when the heart suddenly and unexpectedly stops beating. You collapse, you become unresponsive, you stop breathing normally, and it's a leading cause of death. But it is often reversible with immediate action. So you can take a preventative measure right now. And that's by getting your free heart scan valued at $699 with just a few minimum requirements from Life Imaging FLA. Pick up your cell phone and dial pound 250 and say free heart scan. All right? Say free heart scan, dial pound 250 and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. I had this scan. It takes just a few short minutes. You don't have to take your clothes off and put on a medical gown. I wore my shirt and jeans. I didn't even have to take off my watch. Okay, and they're saving lives all the time. I was just sharing with you someone who went in there recently. They had over 80% blockage. Can you imagine that they didn't know about until they had that free heart scan? All right, give them a call. It's pound 250, pound 250. And when you call, just say free heart scan. You'll be connected in just seconds. We'll take our bottom of the hour break and be right back. If you're on hold, hang in there. Okay, so I'm looking this up. Okay, this guy is. This is. I just looked up the law on the deduction for no tax on tips. Okay, it's a deduction up to $25,000, but there's an income threshold. The deduction begins to phase out for individuals with a adjusted gross income over $150,000, $300,000 for those filing jointly. So I was right. The guy and his wife's making over $300,000 a year, and he's griping. Oh my goodness, that's why it's less. Give me a break. Oh my goodness. And he sounded depressed. Would you be depressed if 12,500 deduction? Okay, hold on. Oh my God. We'll be back in 1 minute. If you're on hold, stand by. Well, thank you, Electric Lou. Welcome, and thank you. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, guys. This is where MAGA comes to talk. And when I'm live streaming in one of my studios, I'm always taking calls. And I'll be here all weekend. I do an afternoon show as well. So make sure you subscribe. And if you could take the link to the stream and share on your socials and invite your friends to join, that would be great. There's 2 openings on the board. The number's pinned in the live chat. Stand by. All right, welcome back, everyone. If you're on hold, stand by. My name is Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. On this open MAGA Mike Friday, open phones, there's 1 opening on the board. Okay, I looked up because, I don't work on tips. Okay, so I haven't really followed everything on that. But I looked, this is in response to that guy that called in. I'm only getting $12,500. The no tax on tips is you can deduct up to $25,000 of your tips each year. Up to $25,000. When your income reaches $300,000 jointly, he's married to a CPA. He said he makes $100,000. When you reach an income of $300,000 and above, the deduction starts to phase out. So he and his wife are making over $300,000 a year. And he's calling in griping that he can only deduct $12,500. Oh, my goodness. To the phones we go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I just want to let you know that you're...
No. Oh, man. I forgot we were going for the record. I let him go before he said it. Oh, well. Well, maybe we're not going to get to the record. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Once, twice. All right, you missed out. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Craig from Winter Garden. How you doing?
Hey, Craig. What's on your mind?
Just a lighthearted question since it's Open Line Friday.
Oh, yes.
Answer it. What's your favorite original Star Trek series episode, or a couple of them? Do you have 1 or 2?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
The Doomsday Machine. The Doomsday Machine is my favorite episode. That's the one with the Planet Eater with Commodore Decker.
Yeah, I know.
Followed by Patterns
of mine. I got 2.
Followed by Patterns of Force when they go to the planet Ecos, which has been turned into a Nazi planet by a historian. Those are my 2 favorite episodes, yes.
But Okay, the Disney machine, yeah, that was one of mine. I like The Balance of Terror.
The Balance of Terror is a good one. That's the one, yes, when we first meet the Romulans at the neutral zone.
Mark Leonard was the actor.
Mark Leonard played the Romulan commander. That's correct. Okay, that's a good one.
And then the last one, and not in any certain order, Joan Collins was in it.
Yes, The City on the Edge of Forever. That's correct. The City on the Edge of Forever.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. You're trying to get me in trouble. You know I'm not allowed to talk about Star Trek too long. Okay, appreciate the call. It's Open MAGA Mike Friday. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Bob from Boise, and I have a question for you.
A lot of questions today. Why do all these why do all you hold on a sec before you get to your question? I'll let you get your why do you soy boys always have a question for me?
Soy boy, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay,
I'm a real American.
I know, real American. Okay. We'll find out if you're a soy boy or not. Maybe you're not. What's your question?
With all the destruction and renovations to the White House.
Oh no, you're a soy boy, all right. You're a soy boy, all right.
Does J.D. Vance and Melania, the Eurotrash whore, have to share a glory hole, or do they?
There we go. All right. Okay. Now we'll hit the dump button, Mike, on that. But I need a referee. I don't. Even though we had to use the dump button. On the soy boy, I don't know if that qualifies as something that has to be dumped. So I don't know, Mike the boy. Mike, give me a text. Let me know. If you're on hold, we did have to use the dump button, but I don't think that's one of the forbidden words. That's just one out of good taste that we didn't want out there. So I don't think that one qualifies. That's kind of like a foul. We can't count that one. If you're wondering, we had some pretty salty calls in the first hour of the show, and we used the dump button more times in the first hour than we've ever used in a single hour of this program's 49-year history. So I thought we might be going for the record, but I don't think we can count that one. But while we're waiting for the delay to re-engage, I wanted to share this. President Trump had an amazing press conference in the White House yesterday. And it was the one where he had members of the cabinet. The president was there, of course, as was the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, Pam Bondi, and, of course, Tulsi Gabbard, the Director of National Intelligence, was there. And she dropped something that was just amazing. Listen to this. This is Tulsi Gabbard, White House press conference yesterday. Listen. Oh my. Oh my. Now, this alone, President Trump deserves a Nobel Prize for. And just to repeat what she said for the liberally impaired, they stopped, when they shut down the border, they stopped, it was a two for business. They were harvesting organs and babies from pregnant women. They'd give birth, they'd steal the baby, and then sell the lady's organs. President Trump stopped that. Right there, she just shared it. Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, lifelong Democrat from Hawaii, by the way. How can you guys, you Democrat callers out there, I'm not talking about these corrupt public officials in Washington and these fake news people. Those of you that are listening to my voice right now in this audience who are Democrats, how can you be opposed to stopping that? That is so barbaric. That's right out of Auschwitz what they stopped. And that was going on at our southern border, courtesy of Joe Biden. How could you be against stopping that? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
The name is Sandra, and I'm calling from Delray Beach.
Hey, Sandra.
Hi there, Brian. Hope everything's good with you.
Yes.
The reason I'm calling, I'm very perplexed about, and I want your feedback on it, on Trump granting $20 billion to Argentina.
That's not true.
When the Argentina...
That's not true.
Not true. Okay. Oh, wait a second, Brian. The Argentina farmers are buying soybeans from China.
No, that's not true. He didn't give $20 billion. He didn't give 20 cents. He did not give 20 cents to Argentina.
Okay.
Let me explain what's going on. You know, hey, listen, you repeat a lie often enough on MSNBC, people start to believe it. It's not no knock against you. I don't blame you for thinking that's true.
Yes. Right.
Okay. Argentina wants $40 billion. They need $40 billion, the president says, to keep the country afloat, right? The president of Argentina is trying to get the big banks to loan him $20 billion. President Trump made an offer to him with a very strong condition, and it's not a gift or even a loan. President Trump said that he will buy $20 billion. This has not happened yet, okay? And it may never happen. But he said that he will buy $20 billion in Argentinian pesos, okay, to prop up their currency value if the president's party wins election. They got elections going on in their legislature. So if they win the election, he will buy $20 billion of Argentinian pesos. So what to prop up their currency. So what will happen to that $20 billion instantly? It'll go up in value. It'll go up in how much, I don't know. But So this thing about giving them $20 billion is a total lie. It's not true.
But then I also hear that those pesos aren't worth anything.
They will be when we buy $20 billion of them.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
so they'll be worth a lot. So actually, that $20 billion will go up in value to, I don't know how much, $30 billion, $21 billion, I don't know. But no, and it hasn't happened yet. So no, that's one of the biggest lies the media are promoting right now.
Oh yeah, it's all over the place.
It's just a complete lie.
All right.
I'm glad you called me about it so I could correct it. Take care. All right, I got to run. We'll be right back. Hey there, hold on. Yeah, that's one of the biggest fake stories that are out there. And by the way, that was what I just shared was reported by public television. Okay. Back in just 2 minutes. Now, I got to remind you guys, make sure you go to mypillow.com. Use our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. You know, Mike Lindell's been supporting the expansion of the program, which includes the early show, my afternoon shows, my weekend content. And we're ending the second month of this. So I'll be hearing on Monday if it continues or not. So make sure you go to mypillow.com and use our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. Start doing your Christmas shopping. Great deals going on. Perfect time to do your Christmas shopping. All right. Okay, we'll be back in 30 seconds. All right, we are back. It's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the final gold and precious metals report of the week. William Youngerman, how are the metals ending the week?
Well, they look like they're going to end up a little bit on the downside. The markets, of course, after that big drop we had earlier this week, yesterday the markets gold traded in a range of $4,065 on the low up to $4,155 on the high. And then closed up $27.90 at $4,125 the ounce. Silver was up 47 cents at $48.85 the ounce. Platinum lost $9 at $1,625. And palladium was down $7 at $1,433. Overnight, we saw gold trade in a range on the low of $4,045 up to $4,145. And right now we're at $4,080. That's down $45. Silver down 65 cents at $48.20. Platinum down $16 at $1,610. And palladium down $18 at $1,415 the ounce. So the markets are still giving us a buying opportunity at the lower end of the trading ranges right now, and we'll see how that ends up for the end of the day. But it wouldn't surprise me if it turned around and went right back up to close up on the day. So take advantage of the dips, and that's what you have to do in these markets.
When it comes to gold right now, what are you recommending to get the most gold for your money at these incredible prices?
Still the best value is Australia's Perth Mint 1 ounce kangaroos.
Oh, that's a beautiful
coin. Of course, gold bars for larger buyers. The kilo bars are an excellent value, and the U.S. Eagle prices have come down a little bit, so that they're back to kind of normal pricing. They were pushing much higher last week, so now you can buy just about everything at normal prices to sale prices.
What about in the 1 ounce silver? What are some of the recommendations over there?
Yep, the 1 ounce coins of the different countries in pure gold, pure silver are still a great value. The 1 ounce Eagles are still kind of trending higher with a shortage on those. Many of the suppliers and everything are out of them until maybe even the first of the year now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we do have a good supply of 1 ounce silver Eagles in stock, along with nice monster boxes. If anybody wants to jump in on some nice silver Eagles,
you sell them in the monster box size?
Yes, we do. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Those are really cool. If you don't know, Google Monster Box. You'll be like, oh, I got to get in on that. And then call William Youngerman. He opens up at 10 a.m., 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. His address is 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca. He's located on the first floor of the Bank of America building, immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway, on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk on Monday.
Okay, have a great weekend. Thank you all.
All right,
Bye.
Take care. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Once, twice. All right, you missed out. Oh, they were just there, and I let them go. Oh, well, what can you do? What can you do? All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, if somebody bought $1 million worth.
Oh, my goodness. It's not gee whiz. Hold on. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi there. My name is Dan, and I'm from Washington.
All right, speak up, Washington. Washington State or Washington, D.C.?
State.
Oh, okay. Yes,
so
you called me. Oh, see, another soy brother. Yes.
I just wanted to ask, are you anti-fascist?
No, I'm not in Antifa.
Are you pro-fascism? Neutral in fascism?
Who's for fascism?
Well, fascists are.
Well, who are the fascists of today? Who are the fascists of today?
I mean, Nick Fuentes.
No, Nick Fuentes is a punk. Nick Fuentes is some punk that you liberals make famous.
How about Richard Spencer?
Richard Spencer, a fringe lunatic, another fringe person. I'm talking about a fascist would have to be in power and have power over people.
Fascists don't have to be in power to be a fascist.
Oh my goodness! No one. Yeah, well, no doubt you're in. Thankfully, you're in Washington State and not D.C. running the country. Oh my God! Oh, before I go, it's Friday. A week from today is Halloween. That means a week from tomorrow starts the holiday season: Thanksgiving, Christmas, Christmas parties, New Year's, right? Hanukkah. You want to look great when you go to your holiday party. You want to look thin. You want to look wonderful when you go to the Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas party your family has, seeing people you haven't seen since last year or maybe not for 20 years. You want to go to Coastal Weight Loss Secret. Get in shape and lose the weight before the holidays get here. When we first met them, I told them we had the cruise. We were a month away from our cruise, and I wanted to lose 25 pounds before the cruise. I had a month to do it. I lost the 25 pounds in 3 weeks. And by the way, I've lost over 35 pounds total, and I look and feel great. I have not gained a single ounce back. Coastal Weight Loss Secret can help you no matter where you're located in the United States. Give them a call and schedule your no-charge consultation. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. That's 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlossecret.com. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Archie in Huron National Forest up in Michigan.
Hey, Michigan.
Hey, I don't want to get dumped, but I want to refer President Trump's spherical...
No. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian from Deerfield.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Brian, how are you? First of all, congratulations on Wendy Bell Saturday and Sunday, Brian. That's terrific on television.
Be on this weekend. Check me out. I got a haircut.
I will definitely be watching that.
I even wore a tie and a jacket.
A tie, Brian.
A tie.
Okay, definitely got to check it out now.
Yeah, a jacket and tie.
A jacket and tie. Oh my goodness, you're going upscale, Brian.
I did. Listen, I'm going to be on national television. I'm going to look good.
Absolutely. You'll make a big impression with it.
I shaved, I got a haircut, and I wore suit and tie. So there you go. Looking good.
Holy mackerel, Brian.
Yeah. Kidding?
That little report that Tulsi Gabbard gave at the cabinet meeting there, which is describing... I mean, if that doesn't resonate with people, harvesting organs and selling babies, it shows you what we're dealing with. The level of, really, it's evil that we're dealing with on the other side. It's almost unbelievable, unfathomable. But that's the reality. What these other people on the side are willing to do for money and power in that. So it's very sad commentary.
Listen, that one thing that President Trump stopped is deserving of the Nobel Prize.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And that isn't even in the news. It happened. I saw it, but if you were watching live, but no one's talking about that today.
No, that show really, that call really, that has a tremendous impact, and the way she stated in that was just like, this is just this common taking place there. It's an abomination, and thank God that President Trump has helped to stop this, and he should get a Nobel Prize.
An abomination brought to you by Obama. I mean, this is a continuation of the Autopin administration, of which Obama was the man behind the scenes.
Well, what Obama and Biden have done to this country is a disgrace, and Trump has had to spend so much time on correcting these problems.
When you think of that, what she described there is like right out of Hostel. If you've ever seen the Hostel movies, I mean, that is some hardcore barbaric savagery.
Yes, it's almost beyond belief. It's people thought Sodom and Gomorrah was evil. This is nothing compared to what's been going on that border.
And that was going on our side of the border.
Oh my God!
Because they wanted the babies born here.
Yeah, it's really hard to fathom. I mean, these people. Listen, we're dealing with pure evil on this other side. I don't know what else you'd call it, but I'm glad Tulsi had a chance to just get that in so people could hear this and what's really going on there. It's unbelievable.
It is.
But thank God President Trump is putting an end to it.
All right. Well, I appreciate the call.
Good luck on Wendy Bell, Brian. I'll be watching.
Okay, take care. That'll be catch me on Newsmax, Wendy Bell, Saturday and Sunday, twice on Saturday, twice on Sundays. Check your local listings for the time in your time zone. And you'll see me all dressed up, shaved, haircut, and suit and tie. All right, so there you go. You only get to see me like that usually when you're on one of our MAGA cruises. Well, that's all the time we have for today. I will tell you, we did not even tie the record for the number of dumps on a single program. And we may have if we didn't have to wait for the delay to build back up. But and I did catch that one guy before he said it. All right, have a great weekend. God bless America. God bless Donald Trump. See you tomorrow, or see you Monday, 6 a.m. All right, we're clear. I want to play this one more time, though, this Tulsi Gabbard announcement, because this is, if it was not open phones, I probably would have spent a lot of time on this today, but listen. I mean, that's something, huh, guys? Well, listen, keep an eye out for me this weekend. You know, I'll be here taking your calls over the weekend. If you're new, my name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure you subscribe. And those of you that are already subscribed, you guys are my marketing team, okay? You know, word of this program gets spread through you. So what you can do if you're subscribed first, but like the video, and then if you could take the link to the video and share on your socials, that would help so much. All right, guys,